Searching the Northwest to bring you the biggest variety in sports. Northwest Television Sports brings you the rejoicing of victory, the frustration of defeat, the drama of competition. This is Northwest Sports.
Northwest Television Sports is proud to bring you Western Oregon University coming up next.
All conference games so far from our friends from the North, the Wolves, with an overall record of 4-3 and winners of 2 straight, including a win last week down at Dixie State in Utah, 46-34, behind the efforts of Ryan Bergman, Tyrell Williams, and Devontae Hoffman. Kickoff just minutes away, Zach, and I think today we have a real kind of looking glass into the rest of the season for Western Oregon, and obviously a team today in Simon Fraser that they should not overlook.
Absolutely. You mentioned before the game, Matt, Simon Fraser came into the season two victories, and since then really the wheels have fallen off, but not a team to overlook. Definitely can put the points on the board, and as you said, Western coming in off a victory for Dixie State last week. Simon Fraser lost going up to Central Washington 54-14.
Pretty ugly loss, unfortunately, for Simon Fraser and the Clan a week ago, is on the opening kickoff. They take the ball, they fumble it, and of course Central Washington goes down, kind of exacting their revenge from an earlier defeat at the hands of Simon Fraser. So they aren't a team to be taken lightly, because Central Washington just out one game out of the lead here in the Great North Athletic Conference. And then we were just talking about the efforts of 3 players in particular for Western Oregon before we get to kickoff today. And they're getting ready to take a look at who's going to be getting the ball first and who will defer to the second half. But Ryan Bergman, a big game, 24 for 39, 4 big touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and a coming out party for Tyrell Williams, kind of being unlocked, 184 yards and 2 touchdowns for the big playmaker on the outside. And then Devontae Hoffman having to come in after Joe Harris gets hurt. Looks like he's going to be having a knee injury that might keep him week to week. And Devontae Hoffman comes in for 12 big carries, 76 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Zach, we know it's going to be a team effort today, but what do you look for Western Oregon to do to get themselves an early momentum in this game?
Simon Fraser won the toss and deferred. Western Oregon will receive.
And there you hear it. Western's going to start off with the ball. I'd expect to see them get Tyrell Williams back into the game. He currently leads the GNAC in average catches, or average per catch, with 17.4 yards, and also coming into the game just under 90 yards receiving. So definitely, and we know Bergman likes to air out the ball, so I'd expect to see him air it out early, see if they can get some points on the board, get the momentum on their side. As we've seen, Simon Fraser has a hard time starting, as Western has thus far this season.
Slow starts, fast finishes for Western Oregon. 28 times these teams have met, or this will be the 28th time. Western Oregon holding a 17-10 advantage over Simon Fraser. And in fact, it's been 8 straight games. And during the Arn Ferguson era here at Western Oregon, Coach Ferguson has never lost to the Simon Fraser team. So you know it's a team that has a lot of confidence going into the game, as we're just a minute away from kickoff. Simon Fraser going to be led by their quarterback, another Ryan. It'll be Ryan Stanford. He's coming off a really rough week, responsible, it looks like, for 4 interceptions a week ago. And right now, what we've kind of noticed in our preparation, Zach, is we kind of noticed that once you get past the defensive line of Simon Fraser, they've got a few players that are very tough, but it seems up front is where they will probably be handled in this game.
Yeah, Casey Chin, their leading tackler, a linebacker, also leads the league in tackles, and what that says to us is they're definitely not stopping the runners at the line of scrimmage there, 4 or 5 yards back before the defense is able to take them down. So definitely can run on this team. As you mentioned, last week Stanford had 4 interceptions. It was a 6-turnover game for Simon Fraser. So if they want to stay in this game, they definitely need to cut down on their turnovers.
Looking back deep for Western Oregon as we're set for kickoff, it'll be Antoine Wafer and Patrick Tapea. Tapea already the owner of a 190-yard run back earlier on in the season. As Simon Fraser will kick off, and doing the kicking duties today will be Quinn Horton, it looks like 99. Tapea and Wafer now creeping up to their own 10-yard line. Kickoff is in the air, and we are underway from MacArthur Field here in Monmouth, Oregon. Tapea with the ball, running on the right side, gets 1 block and gets a good run back, and will move the ball near the 40-yard line. Great starting position for Western Oregon in their first possession of this game.
Yeah, nice run to the sideline by Tapia. And so Western will take over with the ball. Looks like just short of the 38-yard line. Yeah, as you mentioned, Coach Ferguson 7-0 all-time against the Clan here at Western. And the last time Simon Fraser actually won here was all the way back in 1986. So I was 1 year old at that time.
I don't think you remember it. It'll be Bergman from the shotgun, handing the ball off to Hoffman up the middle, going off the right side, and he is tripped up and tackled by number 2, Travis Hayes, defensive back, 5'10".
So good run to start the game there for Western. Picked up 4 yards.
Second down and 6, Bergman operating with 3 wide receivers in the set. 2 out to the left. He will pass. Now he's going to take the ball underneath and run on his own. Has a little bit of daylight. He's got room, and he got it across midfield, picking up first down yardage. Ball run from approximately the 42-yard line down to the Clan's 35-yard line. A big pickup and first down yardage for Western Oregon.
Yeah, what opened up that for Bergman was great blocking by his line. Gave him all the time. No receivers were able to get open, but saw that opening and took it up the field for a 20-yard run there on second down.
Depew in motion. Handoff goes to Hoffman. Hoffman running off the right side. Not much there and tackled easily, but does pick up 4 yards on first down. It'll bring up second down and 6. Checking into the game for Western Oregon, Lucas Gonsalves, wide receiver, 5'9", 180-pound senior.
So a nice drive thus far being put together by the Wolves. It's going to be second down and 5 after that first down carry by Hoffman.
Bergman going deep down the left side, has a man open. It doesn't quite put his hands up, but like we said earlier on in the game, we expected Tyrell Williams to be really a big part of the offense today, as Derek Jones had the duty and the responsibility to cover Tyrell Williams, number 18.
Yeah, just overshot his man there, the far side of the end zone. So it's going to bring up a third down and 5 now for Western Oregon.
Spencer Van Brunt now going to be on the left side. It's a ghost backfield. Bergman by himself. 5 wide receivers here on third down and 5 on the 33-yard line. Bergman looking right side all the way underneath. Lots of pressure, and Bergman will go down, and he will not pick up the first down, and it'll be the first big decision for Arn Ferguson and the coaching staff, as it'll bring up a fourth down opportunity. Actually, a place where Western Oregon has actually not done well at all this season, Zach, has been in those third down situations, only completing 37% of their third down opportunities, and they go right back to the shotgun with 5 receivers in the set. Trips wide receivers to the right and twin receivers to the left. Bergman will have to throw for first down, and they'll blow a whistle here, as they're either going to be a timeout or delay a game.
Timeout. Western Oregon. Their first charge timeout of the half.
We'll keep it right here. Really a nice steady diet so far of trying to find out where the soft spots are in this Clan defense so far, but right now it brings up an opportunity just 2 minutes into the game at fourth down and 6 on the 33-yard line, where Western Oregon's going to have to answer the bell. And it's actually a place they've been quite successful on the season, haven't they, Zach?
Yeah, absolutely. They've done a great job thus far on fourth down, over 50% coming into tonight's game. And so they just wanted to talk about it, kind of see what Simon Fraser was going to line up in.
These two teams meeting earlier on in the season, it was Western Oregon winning 30-9. Very closely contested game through halftime at 9-3. But Western Oregon goes on to score 21 unanswered in the second half and actually gives up a late touchdown and wins 30-9. Like we said, Western Oregon, owner of an 8-game winning streak overall in this series and leading 17-10 in the all-time series. Fourth down and 6, 12:55 on the clock here in the first quarter. The whistle's underway, and we have a big play. Simpkins in the backfield, Bergman to pass. Bergman has his man on the slant. Pass intended for Williams. The second time on this drive he goes to him and doesn't get the completion. It'll be Western Oregon turning over the ball to Simon Fraser on downs, and our first chance to see this offense with Ryan Stanford.
Yeah, just couldn't get the ball to the receiver there, overshot him, and Williams wasn't able to bring it in.
Ryan Bergman kind of struggling all season with keeping that percentage high. It'll be the exact opposite for Ryan Stanford, his counterpart today, completing nearly 64% of his passes and leading the conference in completion percentage. He doesn't throw a lot of touchdowns, but he has thrown 8 interceptions to 6 touchdowns. Man in motion across the formation, and it will be a quick pass out into the flat, and it's a completion pass going to Bobby Papachil.
And Devin Campbell with the tackle for the Wolves there.
Papachil is their leading receiver. Going to see a steady dose of it. His 30th reception on the season. Averages nearly 10 yards a catch. But it was a no-gain play there on 2nd down and 10. Second pass, and it is picked off. Coming across the formation easily. Dominic Aquina running it back. Pick 6.
And a great job of just stepping in front of that pass there. Stanford didn't really disguise his reads there, was looking at the wide receiver all the way, and Aquina was able to just step in front of the ball.
Had nice man coverage up front, man over the top. Aquina comes through, picks off the pass from Stanford, and as we were saying that unfortunately 9th interception leads to 6 points, and it'll bring Korea out for the extra point attempt to make it a 7-0 game. 12:31 on the clock in the first quarter, and the Wolves strike first, now up 7-0 here on KWVT Channel 17. We'll be back right after these messages. And we are back live at MacArthur Field as Western Oregon set to kick off after their defense steps up big early on in the first quarter, picking off Ryan Stanford. Dominic Aquina with the big run back for the pick 6. Wolves on top 7-0. Second possession now set to be underway for Simon Fraser and the Clan as they get a good run back. Man's got some room and gets it out past the 40-yard line, and on the run back, it was Torrey Carrata, wide receiver, 6 foot, 173-pounder from Vancouver, BC. Senior for Simon Fraser, giving the Clan great field position on their second possession here in the first quarter. Obviously their first one, not a very good start as Stanford throws the pick 6, and he'll come back out again from the shotgun formation and have it back in the field with him. Twin wide receivers out left and right. Papachil in motion, he gets the ball on the sweep. It's a design play, and he's pushed out of bounds by the Wolves defense, not before he picks up positive yardage on the play. It'll bring up 2nd down and 3.
Yeah, it was Aquina on the tackle on the far side there, just pushing him out of bounds. Nice job on that kickoff, though, by Corrado. So Simon Fraser starting with great field position, ball on their own 43-yard line.
Chris Tolbert joining Bergman in the backfield, and he gets that handoff up the middle, but the defensive line stout and in the middle. And at the bottom of the pile coming out for Western Oregon, we can't quite see who it is. It's either going to be Devin Wells. Oh, we'll make it 92. Gustav Benthing with the tackle. It'll bring up 3rd down and 7. Ball on the 46-yard line.
And Tolbert's their leading rusher coming into the game, has just under 600 yards entering tonight's matchup.
Wolves showing pressure up front. Ball gets outside to Tolbert, and Tolbert catches the corner, and he's able to run for the first down, and then out of bounds is pushed by Western Oregon, but not before Tolbert kind of tiptoes down the sideline and gets a big first down for the Clan as they move into Western Oregon territory, trailing 7-0.
Yeah, you got to see some of his speed there on the sideline. Tolbert also leads the team in rushing touchdowns coming into tonight's game with 5 touchdowns.
It's going to be a pass. It's a little play action, but Bergman is taken down immediately.
Number 92 again, Bethan.
They goes by Gustav, but they call him John Benthine. Comes up with a tackle. One of the trademarks of Arne Ferguson's defense this year has been tackle for losses. That's their 42nd tackle for a loss. Of course, it's Mr. Akins. We'll call his number 8 a few times today, who leads the team in tackles behind the line of scrimmage. Bergman now 2nd down and long, is looking to pass. Pressure's on him. Ball goes out to Tolbert, and he's taken down in the open field. Great tackle there from number 32, Zach.
Max Jackson. And again, another took him down behind the original line of scrimmage, so was only able to pick up, looked like about 5 yards. That last tackle by Ben Thien was a 7-yard loss.
3rd down and 13. Trips wide receivers now for Bergman. Looks over to the sideline for a little support and play call. Tolbert in the backfield to flank him as well. Tapia back deep on the right side playing strong safety. Bergman's going to pass again, Stanford. Stanford with plenty of time, finds a man open in the middle. Papachel bobbles it but catches it, but it's short of 1st down yardage. Gang tackled there on the play, but first there, Adam McAdams, 5'9" defensive back, sophomore out of Happy Valley, Oregon, and Rex Putnam High School.
And it looks like the offense may be staying on the field here. 4th down and 4, ball on the 36-yard line. Nice job by the receiver, Papachel, to bring in that ball. As you said, Matt, it bobbled a bit, but did come down with the reception, and big play here for Simon Fraser.
Kawamoto on the bottom of the screen. He's coming across the middle, but the ball, though, on a little bit of a flare and a great one-handed catch. Maybe one of the best catches you will ever see in a college football game. Number 87, Jamal Kett, second leading receiver. Diving on a huge 1st down. Ball now inside the 20-yard line. It's red zone offense here for the Clan as they get their personnel spread out, and Kawamoto goes to the far right side this time.
As you said, a pretty spectacular catch there on the sideline. Kett able to bring that in.
10 now on the play clock, and it seems Simon Fraser is trying to use the clock to kind of control the pace of play and tempo right now. Stanford, though, looking left side, now out to the right side. He's going to have to run, flushed out of the pocket, throwing off his back foot, lobs it up and out of bounds. It'll be an incomplete pass. It'll bring up 2nd down and 10. Ball is on the 13-yard line now.
Yeah, you mentioned being in the red zone for Simon Fraser. They are 82% this season once they reach the end zone, putting the ball or getting a score. 55% of that time it's a touchdown. So doing a nice job of putting points on the board once they get into this territory. Their field goal kicker is 6 for 6 on the season as well.
Tolbert gets the handoff on the left side, lowers his shoulder. Chappell comes up to make the play, but it'll be short of the 1st down yardage needed for the Clan. It'll bring up 3rd down, and I won't be at all surprised if it maintains being 4th down or 4-down territory, even though you said 6 for 6 from the field goal kicker. I have a feeling that Simon Fraser knows touchdowns are going to win a football game here today, and that's what they're here to try to do.
Yeah, we got a chance to see Tolbert's speed earlier in the game. And that time you got to see some power running, picked up 6 yards there, so it's going to be a 3rd down and 4 now.
Pass on the play, a little back shoulder play. Chappell on the defense. Pass was intended for Robert Borky, but Borky cannot come up with it. And in this instance, they are going to bring out the field goal unit. Looking for the number on the kicker to give us an accurate feel for who it is. 6 for 6 on the season.
I believe that's number 39.
Here's Chad Heerspink.
Heerspink looking to remain perfect on the season.
Heerspink from a 25-yarder to kick is up. It is good. It is 7-3. Western Oregon over Simon Fraser on KWVT Channel 17. Matt Palumbo, Zach Louis Tag on Northwest Television Sports. I keep forgetting it. I'm going to get it down. I'll get it down here before we get through Game 5. 7-3, Clan and the Wolves doing action here. Kickoff goes, and it's going to go out of bounds, and it's going to give good field position. Tapia just lets it go out of bounds. It was a 11-play drive, 49 yards in 4 minutes and 20 seconds that it took Simon Fraser to march down the field and kick a 25-yard field goal. A nice bounce back, Zach, after that terrible...
Kick out of bounds on the kicking team, number 39. The ball will be placed at the 35-yard line. 1st down.
The field position coming as it's kicked out of bounds by Heerspink, but nice response coming from Simon Fraser, now trailing 7-3 after that pick 6 early on in the game from Dominic Aquina. It'll be Western Oregon going back out onto the field with 2 wide receivers on each side of the formation. Ryan Bergman from his typical shotgun position And in the game is Joe Harris. We didn't know if he'd play, and on his first touch, he goes across midfield and picks up about 25 to 30 yards. That knee doesn't look to be bothering him one bit whatsoever on that first down run. Nice to see Joe Harris come out and play.
Absolutely. Harris saying, "Coach, I'm okay." I can prove it.
Devontae Hoffman doing great work for him a week ago, but maybe it's just to give him a little bit more time to heal that knee. Our first I formation set, though, and they give the ball right back to Harris, trying to work the middle of the field, but it's just a small gain. It'll be second down and long. 7:30 here in the first quarter in a 7-3 football game between Western Oregon and Simon Fraser.
Yeah, Harris picked up 28 yards on his first carry of the game. And so now it'll be second down and 7.
Big play receiver Tyrell Williams will be at the bottom of our screen. Also look for Michael Reeve, the 6'7" wide receiver. Another big target for Bergman to look at. But he finds Harris wide open, and that knee not bothering him all. A great diving reception. And late on the play, Bergman is hit, and he is a little bit shaky as his teammates come to pick him up. Antoine Wafer and a few offensive linemen, and the officials immediately call an injury timeout, as I think Bergman was hit late on this play.
Absolutely. I agree with you on that one, and his offensive players did too.
Trey Shimabukuro, backup quarterback, has only played in about 2 games. Limited action is coming directly onto the field, and we have to wonder in this day and age at any level of football, when somebody's that shaky, the C word has to be thrown around, and it could be a concussion. If there's concussion-like symptoms, they have to follow a protocol. We'll have to wait and see if Ryan Bergman will re-enter this game, but now it's the Trey Shimabukuro show, and it is going to bring up first down and 10 on the 21-yard line, Zach. Big moment here in the first quarter.
Yeah, unfortunate. Western was doing a great job marching down the field on this second drive of the game.
The conservative play there. Shimabukuro handing it off to Harris.
And it looks like Bergman will be coming back into the game, so only out for one play.
Good to see Bergman back out on the field. Hurd now coming in to play a little bit of wide receiver. Coming off the field, looks like it might be Tyrell Williams, or just switching sides of the formation. Hard to keep him off the field with his big play ability. 6:22 and the clock running. Second down and 10 on the 21-yard line. Harris now doing great work off the left side, runs back into the middle, and he's met right around the 10-yard line, dragging a few defenders and taking the ball near the 5-yard line. But Joe Harris coming out and playing with some conviction here in the first quarter, and no signs of a bad knee.
Yeah, great job by Harris.
It's not a solar flash you're seeing on your screen. We're experiencing a mild case of technical difficulties. Just to let you know, it's an overcast day here, beautiful fall day. A little bit of a hint of a chill in the air. First down and goal on the 6-yard line. Bergman and Harris are now in the backfield, and Harris will get the ball again, running off the right side in the big offensive line, trying to do work for Harris, who has really been the workhorse on this second drive here for Western Oregon. Now 5:35 remaining in the first quarter, and the Wolves on top 7-3.
Yeah, weren't sure how much we would see Harris tonight, but so far so good. And he is going to come off on this drive, but a nice job of Harris marching down the field with the Wolves. It's going to be second down and 2, now from the 2-yard line. 5 minutes, 18 seconds to go here in the first quarter.
Panui and Kanangata'a now in the backfield. A jumbo set being shown by Western Oregon, and it's play action. Bergman has all the time in the world, lofts it up for Williams, and Williams looks like he might have been tripped there by the defensive back who drew duty again, which was Derek Jones. And Zach, tell me not to say the word duty anymore. It seems to be my favorite word, and when I say it, it sounds funny. So the person that drew the responsibility to cover Mr. Tyrell Williams almost tripped him on the play.
Yeah, it looked like it may have been incidental contact there, but you're right. Williams just tripped up for a second and wasn't able to get under that ball and bring it in, trying to loft up the ball to the far corner of the end zone. So it's going to be third down and 2 here.
Timeout. Their first charge timeout of the
Simon
half.
Fraser, a timeout, 7-3 on the score. We'll be right back after these messages on KWVT. 3rd down and 2, 5:04 on the clock. Big play here for Western Oregon. And the pass goes over the middle and was intended for Hurd. Hurd thought he was interfered with. And Western Oregon will have a decision to make here on the 2-yard line, whether to go for it or to kick. Panui coming back in the game, and I think the decision's already been made. Arn Ferguson, again, is going to go for the touchdown versus the 3 points here. Not a really well-designed play. You get the timeout from Simon Fraser, which thinks she gives you the time to make something good happen. Unfortunately, nothing there, Zach.
Yeah, absolutely. Wasn't able to get something going on that 3rd down, but it looks like they are going to go for it here on 4th down.
Wafer in motion, everything streaming to the right side. Bergman holding on to the ball, gets rid of it, has to get rid of it, and takes another vicious hit and knocked down. But it's the 2nd time in the 1st quarter, Zach, that we've seen Western Oregon turn the ball over, and they're deep in into Simon Fraser territory. This time it'll be the 2-yard line, but you got to get points on the board there.
Yeah, we talked about it early in the game. Western coming in, I think it was 11 for 16 on 4th down, so had great success thus far this season, but so far tonight, 0 for 2, and they will turn the ball over. So that's where Simon Fraser will take over. Ball on the 3-yard line now. 4 minutes, 54 seconds to go here in the 1st quarter.
A.J. Hull and Garrett are the deep safeties as they go deep on 1st down, and I kind of had a feeling they were going to try to get themselves some field position there. It'll bring up 2nd down and 10, but Western Oregon and the defensive staff kind of had the same feeling we did here in the booth, and it'll be 2nd down and 10, 4:48 on the clock.
Yeah, always dangerous to pass deep in your own end zone, but want to get some breathing room here. And so Stanford again lines up in shotgun.
Stanford, though, goes out to the flat to Papashill. Papashill, though, makes Chappell miss, and then he's absolutely brought to the ground. And I'm going to think it was 40. Is it Kinsey that comes across the formation and makes the player Wells? Looks like it's Shane Kinsey.
Yeah, Kinsey with a great hit, and we've been calling his name all season.
3rd down and 6, ball on the 7-yard line. Dangerous territory here for Simon Fraser and Ryan Stanford trailing 7-3 late in the 1st quarter. Stanford from shotgun looking, and he is hit from behind.
92 again.
Great play coming today from Gustava Benthien, defensive lineman, 305-pound senior from Napa, Oregon. Hard to miss, number 92.
Yeah, and he got some speed there. Stanford lucky to get that ball away. And unfortunately for Simon Fraser, they will have to give the ball back to the Wolves now. And Western should have great starting field position on this drive. A.J.
Hull even on his basically inside the 50-yard line, anticipating the punt from Simon Fraser. Lots of pressure looking like it's going to come from Western Oregon. Maybe an opportunity to block if they go back into their formation. Very good line drive kick, driving Hull back. He ends up getting the ball, running backwards, trying to catch an angle here, running back up the field, and nearly gets it to midfield, but he could never get his speed. Actually ends up being a great punt for Simon Fraser, as it's a low bullet that goes right past A.J. Hull. Looked like he was playing center field, but misjudged that ball.
Yeah, able to grab the ball on the run, but you're right, 10 yards past where he originally lined up. Still, Western will have pretty good field position here. Ball from
the 2-yard line, and I mean the 45. I mean, I could do some quick math again. 48, about a 53-yard punt there coming from Simon Fraser. As Simpkins and Panui are in the backfield, seeing a lot of different players and formations coming from Arn Ferguson's offense today. Bergman, though, back in the game after being hit a couple times on that last drive, gives the ball off to Simpkins. A helmet on the ground for Simon Fraser. And actually for Western Oregon, number 53, losing his helmet on the play is Cameron Cook, offensive lineman, 6'4", 270-pound freshman from Springfield, Oregon, in Thurston High School.
Yeah, doing a great job of exactly what they coach. Don't give up on the play, and he sure didn't, helmet or not.
Ryan Bergman struggling, though. 1 of 6 so far in this game, only 14 yards.
It's going to bring up 2nd down and 10 now.
Little screen play, but there's a lot of pressure coming from Simon Fraser. And Hoffman was going to be the intended target for that play, but the ball well behind him.
Mitchell Barnett, number 35, a linebacker for Simon Fraser, putting that pressure on Bergman. and was able to get the ball out. It looks like the refs are discussing something. I'm wondering if they're going to say maybe intentional grounding if he didn't get out of the pocket.
There's no flag on the play.
So the flag is picked up by the referees.
And so I believe it's going to be 2nd down and 10 now.
2nd down and 10, correct. Ball on the 44-yard line.
No, and I actually will bring up 3rd down. I thought we were in 3rd down and scoreboard just didn't adjust here. So big 3rd down for the Wolves.
Bergman straight drop from the shotgun, and he finds Reeves over the middle, and it's 1st down yardage and then some. Draped over Reeves, number 31, Brian Dean, 6 foot, 191-pound freshman cornerback, draped all over Reeves. Michael Reeves' first catch of the game. Bergman, a nice play there on 3rd down, a place where Western Oregon has been struggling all season.
Yeah, Reeves a great receiver to go through, get Bergman settled down here.
Simpkins gets the ball on the stretch play, but Simon Fraser has that play sniffed out. It'll be for no yardage, maybe even a short loss.
Dylan Roper, number 33, with the tackle there. Yeah, Reeves coming into tonight's matchup, the 2nd leading receiver on the team, just under 400 yards so far thus in the season. Also coming into the game with 3 receiving touchdowns.
We've always said a hard target to miss at 6'7". He'll be in the slot position and now running across the formation as Bergman calls out the play. It'll be Robert Savoy down on the bottom side of your screen looking for one-on-one coverage. They're going deep for him. A little bit of a push and just a little overthrown as Robert Savoy is a big-time receiver here in this offense. Another helmet coming off as it's Draper losing his helmet, number 33. Antoine Wafer still in the game on offensive side of the ball for Western Oregon. He's also got a couple of big 40-yard touchdown plays on the season. It'll bring up 3rd down again, Zach, and they got to get themselves out of the situation. Joe Harris running the ball so effectively. What happened?
Yeah, unfortunately, had a couple great runs there, and we haven't seen Harris, I don't think, since then. I'd expect Williams or Reeves to be the targeted receiver here if Bergman can get time.
Great pressure coming from Simon Fraser, and Ryan Bergman doing everything he can to escape it. And the ball not played dead, but now the ball is loose. This game has taken on a very physical tone in the last 3 or 4 minutes. Couple of helmets for both teams flying off, and I think right now the composure for both teams needs to be maintained. But Western Oregon needs to understand that this is a team that is desperate that they're playing right now, losing 4 straight. They were embarrassed a week ago, and they came right back after that pick 6, put 3 points back on the board, and after that punt from their 2-yard line, they're going to get away with it possibly here and have a chance to go down and score themselves and maybe get ahead in this game.
Absolutely. Western will give the ball back here.
Punt is a high-hanging punt. It's called for a fair catch. Everybody runs away from the ball, but it will be a touchback to the 20-yard line. And it'll be an opportunity for the Clan and Simon Fraser really to kind of establish their own tempo in this game so far. Because really, in the battles of Ryan so far, Ryan Stanford, 5 of 10 in the game, has a 43 yards total and a 25-yard pass on that earlier on in the quarter. But right now, really what I kind of see going on and how we've noticed these home games for Western Oregon, they do not come out ready to go.
Absolutely. You mentioned it. Both these teams kind of slow starters, great finishers, and we've seen that thus far. So Stanford will take over with the ball on the 20-yard line.
Stanford will hand the ball off to Tolbert. Tolbert gets a block, and he's got room. He's got to the sideline, but he's cut off, and a great open field tackle coming from Patrick Tapia, coming from his safety position to knock Tolbert out of bounds. As we were mentioning, opponents this season against Western Oregon outscoring the Wolves 69-37 here in the first half. Although Western Oregon on top with 1:40 to go here in the first quarter, it's been slow starts that have caused them problems and 3rd down conversions. Tolbert getting the ball a 2nd consecutive time, now running on the right side, but he is met, and a tackle for a loss for Western Oregon comes from George Swartzlander, defensive lineman, 6'3", 300-pound sophomore from Burns, Oregon, transferred here from Oregon State, and another tackle for loss for Western Oregon.
Yeah, I believe Kinsey got his hands on him as well. Nice job by Western bringing down Tolbert, a tough runner, picked up 14 yards on that first down carry, but lost one there.
2nd down and 11, and Stanford goes right back to the air, and he has a wide open receiver.
Robert Borky, number 21 on the sideline there.
Borky's 2nd reception in the game, 1:02 left on the clock here in the first quarter. It'll bring up a 3rd down conversion opportunity for the Clan. They haven't fared much better on the season, only about 37% as a team. Twin wide receivers left and right in their typical formation from the shotgun. Stanford looking over to the sideline, waiting for a late play call, and again have controlled the tempo here in the first quarter by this particular play where they look to the sideline. Now 10 on the shot clock. Stanford surveys the scene. Shane Kinsey drops back as a defensive back, and the ball overthrown, and almost Dominic Aquina got his 2nd pickoff, but it'll bring up 4th down, and there's a penalty flag on the play in the area of a potential hold or late hit on the quarterback.
And the initial call looks like it will be a hold, so probably will decline it here.
A.J. Hull already going back for Western Oregon. A.J. Hull already the owner of 1 touchdown earlier on in the season from the special teams position.
Holding
Freshman
on the offense, number 63. That penalty is declined. 4th down.
Matthias Husin from Richmond, British Columbia, senior, charged with the penalty, which will bring up 4th down and 6. Ball on their own 38-yard line. And
Hull given plenty of room this time on the kick. Doesn't want a repeat of what happened earlier.
Good kick, gets away and angled quite well.
Actually hit a Simon Fraser player streaking down the field.
Western Oregon now coming out. Has 31 seconds left here in the first quarter. On top 7-3 over Simon Fraser, our friends from north of the border traveling down for the 2nd meeting this year. Ball placed on the 25-yard line for Western Oregon. Robert Savoy goes back out. On the wide receiver side, it'll be Devontae Hoffman in the backfield. Saw Joe Harris earlier in the first quarter for a couple of good runs and a nice catch, but we're going to see mostly Devontae Hoffman as Joe Harris struggling with a knee problem. Crowd here today in capacity. Going to see Bergman go back, and he is tackled for a loss.
Number 33 with the tackle there, Dylan Roper. We mentioned him earlier in the game. 6'2", 222-pound junior out of, looks like Carson Graham High School.
Well, a fairly helter-skelter first quarter that really didn't see either team really establish what's going to work for them or not work for them today. As we head to the end of the first quarter and the clock ticking away, it'll be Western Oregon on top of Simon Fraser, 7-3 here on KWDV, Channel 17.
That's the end of the first
Northwest
quarter.
Television Sports. For Zach Louis-Tag and Matt Palumbo, we'll be back after these messages on KWVT Channel 17. Welcome back to MacArthur Field. Matt Palumbo, Zach Louis-Tag calling some great action here on KWVT Channel 17. 2nd down and 19 after Bergman sacked at the end of the first quarter. Bergman going to pass on 2nd down. Finds a man underneath the middle. It's Michael Reeve, and Michael Reeve's got room, and he lowers his shoulder, but he's going to pick up a big 1st down as Ryan Bergman, now only his 2nd reception, both of them going to Michael Reeve. Actually, one other reception going to Joe Harris as well. 14:51 on the clock here in the first half, and 1st down picked up by Western Oregon. Ball now placed out on the 37-yard line.
Mitchell Barnett, number 35 with the tackle there on Reeves.
Bump and run coverage now being shown by Simon Fraser, and Bergman gives the ball off to Hoffman. Hoffman gets a block, cuts it back up the middle. Made a few people miss and picks up 4 yards on the play. Little extracurricular activity down here below between Robert Savoy and one of the defensive backs, Derek Jones. As we mentioned early, about midway through that first quarter, Zach, we noticed both of these teams kind of having a general dislike for each other today.
Yeah, absolutely. Number 93, Fabian Olaru with the tackle there. It's going to bring up 2nd down and 6 now.
A little bit of miscommunication, but Bergman will keep it himself. and shoestring tackle right there coming from Casey Chin, the leading tackler in the Great Northwest Athletic Conference, his 76th tackle and his 46th solo tackle on the season. We can now see why he's such a special player for this defense.
Yeah, nice job by that shoestring tackle. Like you said, we know Bergman's fast. Seen a lot of design quarterback runs and escapes when there's nothing going, but Bergman couldn't get anything going, only picked up 2 yards there, so it's going to bring up a big 3rd down and 4 yards for the Wolves.
Another opportunity for this Wolves offense to cash in 3rd down and 4. Bergman with plenty of time finds Wafer on the right side. He's got a little bit of room, and he scampers out of bounds. It really is a change of pace for Western Oregon. They get them the ball in space, and Wafer makes good on it there. A nice play coming from the little receiver as Bergman now starting to get a little bit of rhythm. A couple of completions in a row now. It'll be 1st down and 10 inside the Klan territory here for Simon Fraser. Western Oregon going back into its typical formation, spread out. It's going to be a pass play again. Bergman underthrows, was trying to go right back to Wafer, but incomplete there.
Yeah, a little bit short there. Wafer tried to get down in the dirt and pick it up, but just wasn't able to get his hands under the ball there, so it's going to bring up 2nd down and 10 now. And like we expected, both these teams on the offensive side of the ball, slow start.
Western Oregon, a team that's averaging 400 yards of total offense, has 144 yards so far here in the first half, but they've been kind of kept at bay. Hoffman gets the ball up the middle from Bergman, and the timing of the running plays not so good here as the ball now. Ball's going to be marked down for a loss on the play. Western Oregon will maintain possession. Van Brunt comes in, Hoffman and Depew come off the field for Western Oregon. Staying on the field, though, Lucas Gonsalves, wide receiver, 5'9", receiver for Western Oregon. Bergman there. Again, it's 3rd down and 10. These situations becoming all too familiar for Western Oregon. Bergman gets away from trouble, gets rid of the pass, gets it to Tyrell Williams, and his first reception is for a 1st down. Bergman buying time with his feet and having that mental clock and having a feeling of the footsteps that were coming from behind, finds his big play receiver Tyrell Williams. It's a 1st down inside the 30-yard line, approximately the 28-yard line, as Hurd comes in to play some tight end for Western Oregon. But Western Oregon now, again, establishing that rhythm here in the 2nd quarter with Bergman and some good passes.
Yeah, and Bergman looks like he's finally dialing it in there.
Our second chance to see Joe Harris. And Joe Harris runs off the right side for 4 or 5 yards. Maybe not the push that he had in the first quarter, but using the services of Hoffman and Harris today, a two-headed monster. Western Oregon actually rushing the ball quite effectively here in the first half. 78 yards already. That's a good sign. 81 through the air. A lot of balance coming from Arn Ferguson and Western Oregon's offense.
Yeah, absolutely. And with Bergman finally hitting some of his receivers there, bringing up that completion percentage. If Western can continue this, they're going to be a hard team to stop.
Play action, and right there, nothing happens. And on the bottom of the pile coming out, 35.
Mitchell Barnett, we've been calling his name thus far tonight, linebacker from North Vancouver, BC, a sophomore.
Barnett makes the tackle. He's actually down to a knee and is actually going to need some help to get off of the field. As he puts the stick on Bergman and down to the ground, he'll force Western Oregon into that, again, all too familiar scenario. 3rd and long. The ball will be on the 29-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and 11. As it's good to see Barnett now getting off the field on his own terms. 10:53 on the clock in a 7-3 football game. In a game right now that, depending upon how Western Oregon chooses to finish out this first half, could go a long way to say how competitive a football game this is going to be for 4 quarters.
Yeah, Simon Fraser coming in, like we discussed earlier, on a 3-game slide, momentum being huge in college football. So an important drive here for the Wolves.
Bergman has a pocket. He throws it, and it looks like it's underthrown. They're going to say no pick. Very, very lucky as Bergman was looking for Tyrell Williams, streaking down the sideline, but nothing there, as it looked like it was Travis Hayes. potentially, or what do you have, Zach?
I think it was actually number 5, Casey Chin, dropping back from his linebacker position, almost getting the interception there.
So Correa looks like he is out for a field goal. Ball is on the 29-yard line. 17 yards means 46-yard attempt. Big play here for Western Oregon in their special teams as Correa going for a 46-yarder. Has enough leg. Question is it good? It has enough leg, and it's through. Western Oregon pushes their lead out to 7 at 10-3.
Great kick there.
Correa, a nice 46-yard kick. 10:32 on the clock, and Western Oregon leading 10-3 over Simon Fraser on KWVT Channel 17. Live on Northwest Television Sports, it's a kickoff as Western Oregon on top 10-3 over Simon Fraser, taking the ball from their own 15-yard line. Plenty of room to run and keeping his feet, going all the way to midfield and then some. Simon Fraser going to get great starting field position as the ball is knocked away. Couldn't quite see who got.
It was Corrado again, the second time thus far with a great return. And so any momentum Western Oregon may have got on that last drive was given right back. We try to do the math on that return there, but a huge...
I got about a 77-yard kickoff return from the 15 down to the 17. Stanford will go 1st and 10 from the shotgun with Tolbert in the backfield. Bunch wide receivers out to the left. Man in motion. Tight end switches spots to the left side. Handoff goes to Tolbert, and Tolbert keeps his feet. Taken down, and he's tackled and met immediately by number 41 on that play. John Weekly, linebacker, 220-pound senior from San Francisco, California.
Yeah, and Bethine also helping out there. Called his name quite a few times thus far tonight. Doing a nice job as number 92, getting this defense involved, but a 3-yard pickup on that first down carry. Ball now on the 14-yard line. 9 minutes, 47 seconds to go here in the second quarter.
3 yards picked up by the Clan on first down. Stanford will give the ball right back to Tolbert, and Tolbert runs it off the right side and picks up a few more yards.
And so it's going to be third down now. Was able to pick up 5 yards was Tolbert on that second down run.
3rd down and 2 on the 10-yard line. Simon Fraser trailing by a touchdown at 10-3. Clock moving, 9:10 now remaining in the first half. Stanford looking out to the left. Papachil gets it. He's got blockers. If he gets to the sideline, he's going to get it. Penalty flag comes down, and all of that great blocking and great play calling could be taken away if a hold is called on the receiving core here for Simon Fraser.
May have been a great block because he was holding the defender.
Holding on the offense, number 21. 10-yard penalty. Repeat, third down.
Robert Borky, a couple of receptions here in the first half, though takes away the touchdown on the hold as Papachil was able to spring loose after the holding penalty. It'll remain third down, but it'll be third down now and 12. A.J. Hull coming in as an extra defensive back for Western Oregon. Play calling now coming from the backup quarterback at Simon Fraser. It'll be wide receivers, 3 of them out to the right side, 1 out to the left. Third down and 10 from the spot of the foul is what they'll give it to him. Plays off already, ball up in the air, and really lucky as Tepeya kind of misjudges the steps on it, and if it was a little bit better, Jamal Kett was going to get his second reception of the game and a touchdown, but it'll bring up 4th down and 10 from the 18. Simon Fraser now will probably have to kick a field goal.
Yeah, lucky were the Wolves there to not get called on a offsides jump. Nice hard count there by Stanford, and Western jumped, but unfortunately he wasn't able to get the ball snapped while they were over the line of scrimmage. And so, like you said, the field goal kicker will come into the game now.
Here's Spink now from 18. It'll be about a 35-yard attempt to make it a 4-point game. Here Spink gets it up, and the kick is wide left, and the score will remain 10-3.
First kick he's missed thus far this season.
Big play there. We'll be back for Western Oregon on KWVT Channel 17. It's 2nd down and 10. Devontae Hoffman with a quick handoff, gets no yardage. He'll get the ball a second time here on 2nd and 10 and maybe pick up 1. And we are going to be in a position that Western Oregon has found themselves in multiple times this afternoon, and that is 3rd down scenarios. It'll be 3rd down and 9 as we missed that first play coming out of the break. Ryan Bergman, though, on the afternoon, 5 of 14, has 81 yards, but he's going to have to come up with a big play here. Man in motion. Play designed to roll out, and they find Hurd in the open. And this has become a bread and butter play for what they do on 3rd down or when they need to pick something up underneath. They bring Hurd from the right side of the formation underneath. He picks up the big yardage, and he'll bring up 1st down yardage right around midfield. In fact, it'll move it into Simon Fraser territory. Nice play call there, Zach.
Absolutely great 3rd down call. Picked up the 1st down for them, and so they will have the ball on the 48-yard line now. 7 minutes, 35 seconds to go here in the 2nd quarter.
Bergman looking out to the right side. Ball was going to go to Wafer, but broken up at the very last moment. It was by number 24, E.J. Frayne, defensive back from Union, New Jersey. 212-pound, big player. Draped all over Wafer on that play and didn't give him any room to breathe. 2nd down and 10 for the Wolves.
Yeah, nice job by Frayne, staying step for step with Wafer, who is a fast receiver. Seeing quite a few big plays from Wafer.
There goes Hoffman off the right side, a design sweep play. Hoffman, though, gets his shoulders north and south. Tough running from Hoffman. It'll be a 1st down.
And there you hear the crowd at MacArthur Field really appreciates that hard running from Hoffman.
It's not a play call that's not too uncommon just south of here at Oregon State. Mike Riley and his offense with Jaquiz Rogers and James Rogers over the years. That little fly sweep play that gives your running back an opportunity to let the blocks materialize in front of it. Devontae Hoffman turning his shoulders upfield. 1st down yardage, 1st down and 10. Ball on the 36-yard line, and the Wolves on top by a touchdown at 10-3. Bergman now going for more over the top. Has Hurd. Hurd looks it in, catches the ball inside the 5-yard line. It'll bring up 1st down and goal to goal for the Wolves.
34-yard pass there. Hurd was able to take it all the way down to the 2-yard line, so great reception there.
Dustin Hurd with a 1st down reception, and now a 34-yard pass play, becoming a favorite target for Ryan Bergman today, who is settling in now and finding the spots where he can pick apart this Simon Fraser defense. Harris in the backfield looking to get maybe the reward here. Gets the ball off the right side, but this is the first time I've seen him today where he wasn't quite able to get any push on that leg, nor did he want to give it any push. They'll lose a couple yards on the play, and Panui and Harris will come off the field right now. Michael Reeve, the big wide receiver, coming in. Robert Savoy as well, and Tyrell Williams. Big receivers here, and a chance for those skill position players to make something happen inside the red zone. Ball now on the 3-yard line with Devontae Hoffman.
Number 42, Eric Murphy with the tackle for Simon Fraser.
Straight pass underneath to Tyrell Williams. Williams catches the ball on the 1, but they're going to say his knees are down short. It is a complete pass, but it'll be 3rd down and very, very short.
So it was a 2nd down and 2. They picked up a 1-yard reception there. Well-designed play, but he just needed to be about a half-yard deeper. And there you hear the cheerleaders trying to get these home crowd into the
crowded box. The ball goes to Hoffman. Hoffman up the middle, and he is stuffed short of the goal line. Simon Fraser bunching up everybody. Chin comes in probably to make that tackle. Everybody knew what Western Oregon was going to do before they did it, but Arn Ferguson knew it was a two-play call situation. Hurd and Panui come back in. Kanangata'a. It's that big formation that we're going to see the jumbo set again here. Won't be surprised if Bergman calls his own number on some sort of designed rollout, or my favorite play inside the 5-yard line, the naked bootleg.
Yeah, absolutely. The last time they brought these two big backs into the field, it was a fake run, and they tried to air it out. So let's see what they do here.
Panui gets the ball, hands go up in the air from Bergman that it'll be a touchdown. Hurd has his hands up, the offensive line says it, and touchdown Wolves. The official signal comes up, and it is number 27. Leighton Panui, running back, 5'10", 240-pound sophomore from Hawaii with the touchdown.
Yeah,
and the Wolves on top 16-3, awaiting the extra point.
Panui doing a nice job of putting his shoulder down, keeping those legs moving. The offensive line did their job, got a push up front, and it leads to another touchdown for the Wolves.
Correa to do the extra point, kicking here. High snap, but controlled, and the kick is up. Western Oregon now leading by 2 touchdowns at 17-3 on KWVT Channel 17. Welcome back on Northwest Television and Sports on KWVT Channel 17. Zach Louis-Tag and Matt Palumbo happy to bring you Western Oregon football live from MacArthur Field. The Wolves on top 17-3 over their friends from the north, Simon Fraser, as they get the ball, and the ball is loose. Fumble, and it is going to be picked up by Western Oregon. And it was a week ago that Simon Fraser played Central Washington and turned the ball over 6 times, and their first turnover of the day, brought to you by
Austin Spencer, a defensive back freshman, 5'10", 190 pounds from Sherwood, Oregon.
Comes up big, jars the ball loose, falls on it for Western Oregon.
And actually, they also had that early interception as well.
How could we forget the first points on the board going up from Dominic Aquina on that pick 6, but turnover has been costly all season for Simon Fraser. Western Oregon on the 22-yard line. Ryan Bergman going back to work. Joe Harris in the backfield, twin wide receivers left and right. Harris gets the ball off the left side. He's free. He's trying to get to the end zone, running to the pylon. It's a touchdown. Wolves, they strike back right after that. Harris with a touchdown from the 22-yard line, and the Wolves pulling away here in the first half. 4:32 on the clock. It'll be 23-3, awaiting the extra point. Zach, what did you see on that play from the offensive line?
Great blocking up front, really freed Harris, wasn't even touched. Nice running there, and we've seen a couple of those runs from Harris thus far. You give him some space, and he knows what to do with it. A great run to the outside, and brings us to our current score.
Kick is up, and it is good. 24-3, Wolves over Simon Fraser. We'll be back here on Northwest Television Sports and KWVT Channel 17. Correa with a deep kickoff to Simon Fraser. They'll pick up the ball on their own 8-yard line. Number 34 picking up the ball, doing some fancy dancing, keeping on his feet.
Hoffman was the defender that got to him first. Nice job of slowing him down.
Earl Anderson with the kickoff return, number 34 for Simon Fraser, but they have been reeling, now trailing 24-3. Approximately 4:25 remaining here in the first half from MacArthur Field in Monmouth, Oregon, and it has been turnovers, 8 of them in the last 2 games, that has spelled doom for the Clan, as Tolbert will go back into the backfield along with Stanford. Wide receivers out to the right and left. It's play action on first down, and Stanford's got time. He goes underneath, finds a receiver. Chappell stands him up, and the rest of the defense shows up, and you can, oh my goodness, you can tell.
I'm not quite sure who was called on, but I did see the receiver kick up his feet. So I'm not sure if that was the penalty that was called, but definitely getting a bit chippy out there.
Vaughn Thirdgill with the catch. There's a name for you, Vaughn Thirdgill. Vaughn Thurgill with the catch. Picks up a couple of yards. Penalty on the play as it was Chappell that stands him up, and then 6 or 7 Western Oregon defenders come over and knock him down. And Thurgill, none too pleased with that, kicks his legs up.
After the play, personal foul on the defense number 6. 15-yard penalty from the end of the play, an automatic first down.
Chappell looks a little bit surprised because he was the player that came in with the initial hit. Now the defense wanting the crowd to get involved because they know right now that Simon Fraser is a little desperate, and they know that if one more score here in this first half, they can probably rest a little easier in the second half. But field position now picked up by Simon Fraser as Stanford will give the ball off to Tolbert on the left side. He'll run to the middle. Nothing much going there.
Seemed like a bit of a gimme call there. Great gang tackling on that last play by Western, and maybe they hit him a bit too hard.
Coming off the field for Simon Fraser, Torrey Corrado. A couple of nice runbacks early in this game for Simon Fraser. He's off the field now. 2nd down and 7 on their own 42-yard line late here in the second quarter. Pass thrown behind Papashill, but Papashill gets it just short of the first down marker. Kinsey coming up and making the tackle. Seems to be par for the course for Shane Kinsey. Big-time tackler as they're moving things up here quite quickly.
Yeah, Simon Fraser seems to be speeding up the drive here, maybe because we are creeping up to halftime, but 3 minutes left still here in the second quarter.
Keeping his feet is Tolbert, looking for somewhere to run, and penalty flags come from just about every conceivable angle as Akins comes off the bottom of that pile, knocking Tolbert down. But this should be an offensive penalty. It should be holding on Simon Fraser. And the initial call is just that. We'll wait to make it official with the microphone of the referee.
And that hurts because they did pick up the first down there.
Holding on the offense number 73, 10-yard penalty. Repeat, 3rd down.
Quaren Gesser, offensive lineman, picks up the penalty. It'll bring up 3rd down and long now for the Clan and Ryan Stanford, as he'll have trip wide receivers out to his left.
Yeah, need to pick up 11 yards here to get a first down.
$17 now on the play clock as Simon Fraser looks a bit confused. Tolbert will switch sides of the formation, now be on the right side of Stanford. Stanford is set to pass. Rolling out and flush from his right. Gets it out to Tolbert, who gets the ball at the 50-yard line, but it'll be short of the first down. And in regards to where things are at right now, I don't know if Dave Johnson and the coaching staff for Simon Fraser can afford to go for it here.
Yeah, Keena with the pressure there for the Wolves, chasing Stanford out of the pocket, had to get rid of that ball. Did get the ball to his receiver for completion, but still 3 yards short.
Nikolai Karpoon going to be out to do punting for Simon Fraser as Dave Johnson decides it's not worth the risk. A.J. Hull standing around his own 10-yard line as the defense comes off the field for Western Oregon. All smiles right now, leading 24-3. Snap is good. Karpoon gets off a nice kick to Hull, and Hull decides he's going to take it on his own. He's got some sideline room, but he's not going to get much more than that. He'll take the ball near the 30-yard line as Western Oregon players now getting Simon Fraser players off of A.J. Hull, but it'll be Ryan Bergman going back out onto the field. Now 8 of 18, always kind of hovering around that 50% mark. Will have an opportunity with 1:57 and armed with some timeouts to see if he can get some more points on the board here for Western Oregon heading into halftime, as it will be Simon Fraser who will open up the second half with that kickoff as they deferred when they won the coin toss earlier today, Zach.
Yeah, you're completely right. Bergman all season hovering right around that 50% mark, but has been turning it on here in the second quarter. At one point was just 2 of 9, so definitely starting to put it together. Let's see if he can continue here with this short amount of time on this drive before half.
Harris comes back in. He does get hit on that knee, not before he gets a few yards on the play. Western Oregon, 2 timeouts left. Clock still rolling now, under 1:40 remaining in the first half. Joe Harris, who we did not expect to see play today, has actually done quite a bit of work. 9 carries, 75 yards, and of course that 28-yard touchdown score that he had earlier on here in the second quarter. Harris gets the ball again, gets it out there. It'll bring up a third down as the clock continues to roll. Another tackle coming from Simon Fraser's Dylan Roper, who's been in quite a few plays today. We thought we would say Casey Chin, but they've kind of kept him under wraps.
Yeah, definitely keying up is the offensive line there on Chin. Ooh, and a great hit there by number 5 for Simon Fraser. And just as we were talking about him, Chin.
Harris gets pinballed by Chin right there. I mean, I've seen some hits this season. That's as clean as one of I've seen. Timeout going to be called.
Timeout. Simon Fraser, their second charge timeout of the half. Please reset the game clock to 1 minute, 0 seconds. 1 minute even.
It was third down. It's actually going to fall up short. So Arn Ferguson in Western Oregon probably going to have to punt the ball away. It'll give Simon Fraser and the Clan the ball back with under a minute to go and a timeout. And every time they've kind of inched their way into the idea that they were going to be highly competitive in this game, they've shot themselves in the foot. Obviously the pick 6 early on in the game, and then the proficiency from Ryan Stanford today that they've been used to all season at 65% hasn't quite been there. About a 50% completion percentage, and really no running game to speak of whatsoever.
Yeah, the Wolves have done a nice job on the defensive side of the ball all night, but the Clans will get the ball back with, it should be just under a minute here. Be interesting to see if they're going to take a couple shots at the end zone. Down big, they need to get something going here.
Earl Anderson is going to get it, catches on a short hop. Penalty flag's already been thrown out. Anderson had plenty of room, and he is absolutely leveled out of bounds.
Looked like number 38 for the Wolves with the hit, Alexander Bratt. Their punter.
That's the punter. That's a football player. I mean, they actually say if you're going to put on the pads, you have to be a football player. That was a...
During the return, holding on the return team number 20, 10-yard penalty, first down.
And you were just talking about it, Matt. As soon as they get something going, it seems like they do something to shoot themselves in the foot.
It'll back them up. They'll have the ball with 50 seconds remaining here in the second quarter and trailing by 21, 24-3. It was Western Oregon getting on the board early on the pick 6 from Dominic Aquina. Simon Fraser coming right back and scoring a field goal. But since that point, Western Oregon now dotting Simon Fraser and the Clan with 17 unanswered points. Tolbert will be in the backfield along with Ryan Stanford. Papashill, their big receiver, been basically held underneath in every single play possible, number 6 for the Clan. And again, it's got to be an opportunity here with one timeout remaining. Can Simon Fraser get some points on the board before halftime? And great pressure coming from Akins. Kanangata'a there, and he will be tackled maybe just for a 1-yard gain is Stanford, but everybody staying home for Western Oregon, and that defensive front absolutely shutting down Stanford's path to run the ball. Clock continuing to run now under 30 seconds, Zach.
Yeah, like you said, Kanangata'a chasing him down. Nice job of staying with the quarterback, bringing him down, and that clock.
Play going to be blown dead in maybe what I consider to be the weakest snap to the shotgun I've ever seen.
Yeah.
It's like he didn't mean to, but he did it.
And we'll see if we can get the call here just 20 seconds before half. And the Wolves have to be happy going into halftime with a 3-touchdown lead. Pretty competitive going in.
False start on the offense, number 63. To avoid the 10-second runoff, Simon Fraser is elected to call a timeout. That's their third and final charge timeout of the half.
We'll keep it here is, again, really what we've kind of come to understand about Simon Fraser is it is a young team that does have some talent, but every time they time to get themselves in a position to build momentum and rhythm, they've just had something that sets them back, whether it be a penalty, a couple of turnovers. And on the other side of the ball today, Zach, you don't get much more balance than to have 269 yards of total offense, 135 surprisingly on the ground, and 134 through the air. So Arne Ferguson has to be very happy with what he's seeing on the rushing side and the passing side of the ball. They've taken care of it, and that's why they're on top 24-3.
We've talked about it all season, getting that running game started, putting something together consistently on the rushing side of the offense. And thus far tonight, they've really been able to do that, have the Western Oregon Wolves.
Second down and 15. Ball now on the 39-yard line as Stanford is flushed out of the pocket. He'll find Tolbert underneath, and Tolbert is going to go out there and he's going to pick up extra yardage as Chappell was going to go up to make the hit. Penalty flag is thrown, and it'll be Robert Borky getting his second penalty of the first half for an illegal hit in the back or some sort of illegal use of hands. And he is frustrated by what he's done. He can't quite believe it.
Block in the back on the offense, number 21, 10-yard penalty, second down.
Yeah, and you called it earlier, Matt. Every time it seems like Simon Fraser gets anything positive going, they do something silly to set themselves back. And there we saw it again. That last play, it looked like they were going to take a shot at the end zone. The quarterback just didn't have enough time, was flushed out of the pocket, had to throw something short. It'll be interesting to see with just 12 seconds to go here before the half if they're content going into halftime or if they are going to take one more shot.
Devin Chappell, defensive back for Western Oregon, kind of been the anchor and backbone of this defense today, and certainly possessing an attitude that Western Oregon has played with all day as Tolbert gets the handoff, and that will complete the first half as time will whittle away here in the first half. Western Oregon has to be happy headed to halftime here in conference play over Simon Fraser and their friends from the north. It's 24-3, Wolves over Simon Fraser and the Clan. We'll be back for more second half action on Northwest Television Sports and KWVT Channel 17. Welcome back, everybody, to MacArthur Field as halftime comes to a close. It's Western Oregon University all over Simon Fraser, our friends from the north and the Clan. Western Oregon on top 24-3. Tail of the tape in the first half, Zach, we got handed the stats a few minutes ago, and we were looking over it, and I'll tell you, some things jumped off the page immediately to me. Western Oregon, 14 first downs to Simon Fraser's 14, and even more telling than that, Western Oregon holding the ball for 17 minutes in the first half and controlling time of possession in this game, and that was a byproduct of them rushing the ball, which gave Ryan Bergman the chance to go back and throw the ball. Actually, rushing and passing yardage only separated by 1 yard. Actually, 135 rushing yards to 134 total passing yards for Western Oregon in the first half, and his primary target was Dustin Hurd for 2 receptions and 51 yards. But the story maybe comes from on the offense is that Joe Harris runs the ball effectively with a knee problem 11 times for 84 yards and a 22-yard touchdown. It's 24-3. Zach, what kind of jumped off the page when you were having a chance to go over the stats here at halftime?
Yeah, for Simon Fraser on offense, they need to do a better job of converting on third down. Just 1 of 7 there in the first half, really not getting it done there. And also the penalty yards, Western only having 1 penalty there in the first half. Simon Fraser with 3 penalties and also 2 turnovers. So we talked about it a little bit earlier. Simon Fraser coming in on a 3-game skid and 4-game skid, excuse me, yeah. And they had to play almost air-free football, and we haven't seen it thus far.
Well, it will be Simon Fraser and the Clan getting the ball here first in the second half as they won the kickoff. Correa with a big kick, sending it all the way back. Corrado gets it. He'll have Anderson blocking for him up front. Corrado's going to go again. And when I was looking at the stat sheet, the only thing I saw really positive for them was on special teams is their kickoff return numbers were quite high.
Yeah, Corrado with a 70-yard return there in the first half, and he has been the bright spot on the offensive side. Surprisingly, not necessarily coming from the offense, but more so from the special teams.
Ryan Stanford will come back out and play quarterback here in the second half. was a tough first half for him, 9 of 16 and an interception. Of course, that interception going to Dominic Aquina, which put the Wolves on the board 7-0 early in the first quarter. Stanford now going to pass on his first play here, and Papasho was the intended target, and the play broken up by Shane Kinsey, and not much going for Simon Fraser coming out of intermission. Lights now on the field here at MacArthur Field, our first chance to see him this fall. 30 seconds on the play clock. It'll be trips wide receivers out to the left for Stanford. Tolbert in the backfield, who did not fare very well in the first half, only about 34 yards on around 9 carries. Tolbert will get the ball. He'll bounce out to the right looking for room, but all of the defensive line and defensive backs coming up and playing quite well for Western Oregon. Zach, go ahead and tell me what you're taking a look at there right there.
Yeah, Bentham again with the tackle. So that ties him up for the leading the defensive side of the ball for tackles thus far tonight. Also with the only sack for the Wolves. So Bentham having a huge game on the defensive side.
3rd down and 7. Trouble now here for Simon Fraser. A little bit of a rush coming there. And right in there again is John Bentham. Probably having his game of his career so far, at least game of the year for him from a defensive line position. It'll be 4th down and long, and the Clan will be forced to punt the ball away.
Yeah, on cue there was Bentham. Again, his 2nd sack of the game. And like you said, probably his best game of the season thus far.
Can't tell if it's Gonsalves back, but I think it might be. Back instead of A.J. Holt. Protection, though, coming for Simon Fraser as they'll punt the ball away, and Gonsalves will have a chance to run it back. Kick goes right to him. He picks it up at the 25. He's running deep out to the right side, taking a bad angle, and he'll be chased down. No problem there on the play for Derek Jones. And Simon Fraser, Western Oregon, though, gets a quick 3-and-out on defense, and their offense comes right back on the field, Zach.
Yeah, not what Simon Fraser was looking for coming out of halftime. That, you know, their coach was probably trying to get him fired up, get him back into this football game, and unfortunately coming out and, like you said, 3-and-out. And so Western will take over with 13:31 here to go in the 3rd quarter, ball on the 22-yard line.
Don't forget on KWVT Channel 17, Fishing the West, the original, and Angler of the West, Garden Time, and Gary Lewis's Adventures Journal. It'll be Bergman giving the ball to Harris out on the left side, and Harris picking up where he left off in the first half. Positive yardage coming for Western Oregon, and nearly 1st down yardage coming from Harris, number 23.
And what was almost just as important as the big run there was Harris avoiding contact. So we know coming in with a slight injury hasn't slowed him down thus far. We know that knee's got to be sore, so nice job of Harris avoiding the contact, getting out of bounds after a great pickup there. 2nd
down and 2. Western Oregon now hands the ball back to Harris. He'll pick up the 1st down yardage. And what I like to see so far out of Harris on these 2 runs, and specifically that first run, was the burst in his step. He wasn't afraid to get his momentum going in a certain direction. And you're right, avoiding contact as he comes off the field. Gonsalves will come back in. It'll look like Michael Reeve will come off the field. Antoine Wafer, Dustin Hurd out there, as well as Tyrell Williams in the receiving core.
Simon Fraser's 2 linebackers in on the tackle, Murphy and Chin.
Looks like Hurd will be somewhat in the backfield, along with Devontae Hoffman. Bergman's going to pass down the middle of the seam, and he gets it past Gonsalves, who's a 5'9" receiver. It's got to be on the money for him to be able to catch that ball. It'll bring up 2nd down and 10 for Ryan Bergman in the Wolves offense.
Yeah, it looked like he was throwing to big Michael Reeves out there. Unfortunately, it wasn't him going out for the pass.
Not even close. Western Oregon, it's a little bit of a cart before the horse scenario, but right now winning today has a real opportunity as they'll go to Azusa Pacific to exact their only loss on this field next week. Oh, wow, tip play, and the ball is intercepted.
Number 27 for Simon Fraser.
Tyrell Williams, the intended target on the play, as it was broken up by whoever was covering him, and then the pickoff obviously made there by number 27, Cairo Miser-Boro.
Boro with a nice job of keeping his eyes on that football, bringing it in. And so finally, a break for Simon Fraser. See if they can capitalize here early in the 3rd quarter. And the Wolves with their first turnover of the game so far.
Could be big play as its ball's placed on the 49-yard line of Western Oregon. It'll be half a football field for Stanford to work with. Tolbert in the backfield. Kawamoto now moving closer in on the formation from the right side. And the pass goes out to Popshill. And Popshill gets his 4th reception of the game, I believe, maybe his 5th. And he gets first down yardage, 12:25 on the clock. And now Simon Fraser with a chance to get early points here in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, nice reception by Popshill, and was pretty much wide open there on the far sideline. So 17-yard reception there.
Split out wide for the first time. We're going to see the running back Tolbert. Chappell will come up and cover him. It'll be Tolbert now going into the backfield. A little bit of a design play. It's going to be a pass play. Corrado, oh my goodness, and then he will pitch the ball back out to Kawamoto. Kawamoto will run for nearly first down yardage, but the penalty flag's probably going to take all of this away. I don't think that was the design at all. I think the play got broken up quite early as Western Oregon played that pretty close to the vest.
We'll wait to see the call here. And Simon Fraser looks like they are moving back, so I believe you are correct. It will be on them.
11:47 on the clock, and we'll get the official announcement here in just a moment.
Legal block below the waist on the offense, number 63. Blocked low back towards the original line of scrimmage after the ball left the zone. 15-yard penalty, first down.
Matthias Goosen with the penalty on the play.
And we've talked about it all night. As soon as Simon Fraser starts to put together a drive, a silly penalty and almost pushes them back to where they originally started this possession.
First down and some yardage as the ball is placed on the 47-yard line. Trips wide receivers out to the right. Tolbert in the backfield along with Stanford. It's going to be a pass play and out into the flat. Ball intended for Kawamoto. It was first down and 25, but the ball short-armed into Kawamoto's arms. He isn't able to come up with the reception. It'll bring up second down and 25, 11:38 on the clock, and Western Oregon still on top, 24-3.
Yeah, good call by the ref there. It was a little bit hard to see Kawamoto not putting up an argument, so you know he probably got the call right. And
go ahead.
Yeah, I'd expect to see quite a couple more passes here from Stanford. Need to pick up 25 yards here for the first down.
You hit the nail on the head. Watching Tolbert so far, only 10 carries for 39 yards. It's going to be a pass play. And the pass broken up by Moa. Moa just about got his hands on it for the interception. Chappell was right there. It'll be third and very long for Simon Fraser. And when you're in a situation where you're going to have to become one-dimensional, it gives the defensive backs an opportunity to basically overplay or anticipate where you would like to throw the football.
Yeah, they're able to creep back a little bit, not as worried about the run, especially not here on 3rd and 25. So pretty much everybody on the field knows what's going to happen here.
Borky and Kawamoto and Popashill all on the right side, trips right formation. It'll be Stanford, who now is running for his life. He's going to be run down by Ben Thien, and then it comes up Devin Wells, who puts a shoulder into him. It's a legal hit. He gets the shoulder. It doesn't hit him in the helmet. It's a clean hit as Devin Wells. He comes up absolutely hurting on that play, more so than the quarterback on that play. But great defensive pressure coming all over the field from Western Oregon, Zach.
Yeah, it just tells you how tough the quarterback Stanford is. Like you said, Wells laying a mean hit on the sideline there, and he came up a little bit shaken up. But a nice tackle there, not letting Stanford pick up too many yards. So it's a 4th and 23 here, and Simon Fraser is going to have to punt the football.
Gonsalves is back deep around his 10-yard line, awaiting the punt from Simon Fraser. Play will be called dead, penalty flag down.
It looks like it's a delay of game here.
Delay game on the offense, 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
Yeah, I was watching the play clock. I was wondering if they were going to snap the ball. Unfortunately, didn't get it off. Now, this may be a case of they wanted to get back a few yards see if they can pin the Western Oregon Wolves deep in their own territory here.
Carpoon set to do the kicking here, but there is a stoppage of play. Signal will go to play again. Whistle has blown. Gonsalves will be back deep. Carpoon to kick. We'll see if Zach is correct. He angles that kick, and it wasn't very good. They're going to get pretty decent field position out of this. As you see his hands still up in the air, walking and walking and walking. That ball will end up outside the 20-yard line and nearly the 25-yard line. Again, still nothing quite going right for Simon Fraser. Ryan Bergman and the offense will come back out after the interception on their first possession. 10:42 remaining in the third quarter. Western Oregon in control by 3 touchdowns at 24-3. Zach, really happy to see Joe Harris out there, but Ryan Bergman, again, kind of always around what we call his Mendoza line, 50%. Probably now have the opportunity to see him throw the ball a little bit here in the second half with the lead. But they give the ball to Harris, and Harris will run off the right side. Simon Fraser was looking to go ahead and try to strip that football, but Harris keeps on to the ball. Gonsalves will come in. Michael Reeve, player down for Simon Fraser's 93.
Yeah, shaken up on the play there. Looks like it may have been his leg.
Fabian Olaru.
Looks like it may just be a cramp here.
Olaru hops back up, looks like he's fine. Roper comes up and gives his teammate a quick pat on the shoulder to give him some encouragement. Western Oregon will have the football, 10:32 on the clock. It'll be 2nd down and 5 after that 5-yard run from Joe Harris. Harris now in the game, just over the 100-yard mark now. 14 carries for 101 yards and a touchdown. Harris will remain in the game. Twin wide receivers out to the right. Bad snap, but held onto by Bergman. Harris doesn't have much room to run. It'll bring up 3rd down and 4 or 5 yards for Western Oregon, where they've spent a good portion of today.
Barnett on the tackle there. Their linebacker Roper was in there as well. Barnett leading the team with tackles. Actually, Chin leading the team with tackle, but Barnett actually with the second most thus evening. Six total tackles. That made 7 and also a sack.
No yards there for Harris. 3rd down and 5. Bergman has Wafer open. Wafer tries to make a man miss, but good tackling and good discipline coming from E.J. Frayne, defensive back for Simon Fraser, and it'll mean Western Oregon has to punt the ball away. No real feeling or rhythm to this game so far in the second half. Everybody holding serve. It'll be Anderson back deep, awaiting Correa's kick. Van Brunt.
Yeah, nice job by Simon Fraser stopping the Wolves from getting anything going on that drive, so they will get back the football here.
Underneath it is Anderson. Akina runs right past him. Couldn't quite tell. Maybe he thought it was a fair catch play, and he just decided to run on the other side of him, but not much yardage gained by Anderson, as Simon Fraser will take over the ball on their own 35-yard line. Still trailing by 21 at 24-3. Western Oregon getting on the board early today with a pick 6 from Dominic Akina, and then it was Simon Fraser coming back for a field goal. Western Oregon 17 unanswered points, some stingy defense at times, and of course some explosive offensive plays, especially from Joe Harris today on the 22-yard touchdown that makes it our score at 24-3. Stanford now from the shotgun will give the ball to Tolbert. Tolbert running off the left side has some blockers and will run out nearly to the 1st down marker, picking up 8 or 9. It'll be 2nd and short for Simon Fraser.
Akina with the tackle there. Called his name quite a few times, and just as you mentioned earlier, started the game off with that pick 6. Number 92 for Western Oregon, causing the pressure on the quarterback.
2nd down and 2. Simon Fraser from his own 43 hands the ball off on the play, and getting on the second effort is number 32 in his first carry of the game, Steven Spagnuolo, 5'9", 171-pound player. He's a running back, sparingly used. Only his 27th carry on the season, has a couple of touchdowns coming in spare duty, but it'll be first down and 10 for Simon Fraser. And it'll be a nice little play fake as the ball was intended to go over the middle and should have been caught by Jamal Kett, but Kett can't hold on to it. Second down and 10 for the Clan.
Yeah, Kett with that great reception early in the first half there on the sideline. Unfortunately, just wasn't able to bring that pass in there. So like you said, it'll bring up a 2nd and 10. Ball on the 45-yard line.
Chappell drawing the duties of Kawamoto. Kawamoto streaking down the right side, but the ball goes out to the left, and the pass is caught far on the left side by Robert Borky. Borky now in the game. A couple of receptions and a couple of foolish penalties that has cost his team today. It'll bring up a 3rd down and less than a yard for Simon Fraser, and they're trailing by 21, 7:50 now, and the clock running here in the 3rd quarter. Bunch formation here as Tolbert re-enters the game.
Yeah, we mentioned their lack of success on 3rd down. Let's see if they can get something going here.
No problem for Tolbert as he makes a quick run out to the left side, keeps his feet churning, and picks up positive yardage as Simon Fraser now deep into Western Oregon territory, taking the ball nearly to the 30-yard line. Is Tolbert, one of his most positive runs here in the first and second half total. Stanford now going to go back to work. 11 of 22 in the game, only 94 yards, and you know if they're going to get back in this game, at some point he's going to have to get a big play out of the receiving game.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. But they do run the ball here on 1st down, and it looked like Spagnola again. So quite a few carries on this drive for number 32.
2-yard gain, ball will be placed on the 31-yard line. 2nd down and 8 coming up for Simon Fraser.
And something I haven't got a chance to mention tonight, a bright spot for Simon Fraser, doing a great job of keeping number 8, Akina, out of the backfield.
Really well read there. Coming underneath the formation, Max Jackson comes underneath. That's the 2nd time I believe Max Jackson has made a play here today, and almost ended up in an interception there, as I don't believe that Ryan Stanford ever saw number 32 come into his sight on that play. 3rd and 8 now for the Clan, and an opportunity here for Western Oregon maybe to dial up a blitz and put some pressure on Stanford. 4 down linemen, the pass goes out into the flat. There's nothing there because that pocket did collapse. Nothing going there for Ryan Stanford and the offense of Simon Fraser. And they now know with 6:37 on the clock, Zach, that they're looking at a situation where they're going to go for it here. I don't think they have much of a choice. They understand that if they don't get it, they're going to sacrifice a little bit of field position, but they need to keep the ball out of Western Oregon's hands.
Absolutely. If they were able to put the ball in the end zone on this drive, it's still just a 2-score game. As it is right now, 3-score game. But you're right, Matt, has to get something going here. Only 6.5 minutes left here in the 3rd quarter.
Soft zone being played by Western, and coming underneath that was Kawamoto. And I got to tell you, this is going to be somewhat of an interesting story. I was listening to Rich Eisen on a podcast, and Larry David, the creator of Curb Your Enthusiasm, was on. And he basically said on plays like that, he just can't understand him. He's like, he would just cut the player. And I don't understand that defense, because prevent defense is only preventing you from winning the game. Kawamoto runs right underneath, and it's an easy play, 1st down for the Clan and Simon Fraser.
Yeah, it doesn't make much sense, but we see it game after game, team after team, and same result there. Picked up a big 4th down.
Big pressure coming from Western Oregon, but Ryan Stanford will keep his feet and actually pick up 5 yards on the play as Ben Thien, I think Kanangata, and Kinsey were all there on that play applying pressure, but a smart play coming from Ryan Stanford as he runs the ball. They'll move that ball down to the 13-yard line, and just like you said, Zach, a score here and a touchdown with a conversion makes it only a 2-possession game.
Absolutely. So it's felt one-sided all night, but still within striking distance, and a great drive thus far being put together by Simon Fraser.
Cannot underestimate a team that has lost 4 games in a row, desperate to win a football game. Stanford will give the ball to Tolbert, and Tolbert is taken down by Akins just like that. enough of that is what Aikens says. Craig Aikens comes in, been one of the leading tacklers, especially for tackles for loss on the season. I think that's now 11.5 for number 8 on the season, and a little bit of pressure now taken off that defense there on that play.
Yeah, I think I may have called him Akina earlier, but yeah, Aikens hadn't been able to get in the backfield much this evening. Great job by number 59, the offensive lineman for Simon Fraser, just a sophomore, but doing a great job on Aikens all night, but finally breaks through.
Passes up on 3rd down and 6, and the penalty flags will come out, and I don't think that pass would have been completed as Aikens comes in, and he is actually coming off of the field, and he's holding his right arm by his side. Looks like he's a little bit dinged up, but the penalty will go against Western Oregon. Did not see the defenders on the play.
I believe it was Campbell there. Got his hands on the receiver.
Pass interference on the defense, number 6. The interference was committed in the end zone. By rule, the ball will be put on the 2-yard line. Automatic first down.
Devin Chappell with the unfortunate incident there, and a penalty flag that'll place the ball on the 2-yard line. Now just under 5 minutes remaining in the 3rd quarter, and Western Oregon reeling right now. Is this going to be an opportunity for Simon Fraser to draw closer as they're still trailing by 21?
Yeah, and you were exactly right there. Probably an uncatchable football, so silly penalty there. Gives Simon Fraser
single back set, and it'll go to Tolbert. And Tolbert will run off the left side. Still no signal. Everything collapsing upon number 1. Tolbert, no official sign. I believe it'll bring up a 2nd down and goal to goal. Aikens coming back into the game. That's a nice sign for Western Oregon.
So yeah, they picked up a 1 yard there on the first down carry, so it'll be 2nd down and goal from the 1 now.
Offense coming alive here for Simon Fraser now. They've creeping up to 171 total yards.
Timeout. Western Oregon, their first charge timeout of the half.
Let's step away for a quick break on KWVT Channel 17. Back at MacArthur Field, it's going to bring up a 2nd down and 1. Bunch set, I formation. Here it comes to Tolbert, and Tolbert absolutely jacked up and stuffed by Craig Aikens. The unquestioned leader of this defense now is number 8, Craig Aikens. No bones about it. Tolbert has nowhere to go. 3rd down and goal to goal, Zach.
Yeah, coming alive there. You mentioned earlier coming off the field, looked like he was a little banged up, but said, I refuse to lose. I will not let that injury slow me down. And there we saw him anchoring that defense with a 2-yard loss. You mentioned it earlier, Matt. Great job by this Western defense of tackles for loss all season, and there we saw another one.
Now under 10 on the play clock. Stanford still doesn't quite have the play call. Now under 5, 3, 2. Gets it just off at the 1 mark. Pass is tipped up in the air. It's a free ball. And the ball is so far indicated as an interception. We do not know who has the ball, but Western Oregon with the defensive play of the game. We can't tell who broke it up, but coming out, Craig Aikens. Mark it down today, October 26, 2013. Craig Aikens, MVP of the defensive side of the ball through Game 7 for Western Oregon. A great play coming from Craig Aikens.
Yeah, just jumping in the air, getting his hands up above everyone else, and came down with that football. Seemed like it was up in the air for like a good 5 seconds. Of course it wasn't, but nice job of looking the ball into his chest, and that's where Western Oregon will take over. We mentioned it, Simon Fraser all night. Every time they started to get something going, every time it looked like momentum may be finally swinging their way, they do something that ends up costing them, and this one's a big one.
Devontae Hoffman behind Ryan Bergman, and Bergman's going straight to the air and looking for something big. and Williams runs underneath the ball, and if he holds onto it, it's a fight for the ball, and it will be a big-time reception from Tyrell Williams, their big play receiver, taking the ball out to the 42-yard line and picking up 38 yards for the reception. Western Oregon deep in their own territory, pinned up, and they get right back on it and take the ball out near the 44-yard line. Zach, what a play.
What a play there by Williams, getting under the football.
Hoffman gets the ball off the right side, and he will just refuse to go down as tacklers are shedded by him, and Hoffman and Harris have been a two-headed monster today for Simon Fraser, and right now Western Oregon sniffs out that they know that their opponent is in a weakened position after not getting that touchdown. It's now 2:50 and the clock running in the third quarter. Bergman again out of the shotgun. Simon Fraser showing a little bit of blitz, but Hoffman keeping on his feet, and 6 more yards coming from Hoffman. Number 31 today. Hoffman now carrying the ball 10 times for 61 yards.
Yeah, Hoffman with the power, Harris with the speed. Hoffman right up the middle, Harris to the outside. Like you said, a great two-headed monster thus far this evening. And almost more importantly, keeping that clock running. Just over 2 minutes, 20 seconds to go here in the third quarter.
Crowd gets very quiet for Ryan Bergman as he calls out the play. And there it goes, right back to Hoffman. If you are hot, you just keep handing him the ball. Hoffman will go past the 30-yard line, almost to the 29, and the sticks will move. First down and 10 for Western Oregon, and an ovation for Devontae Hoffman as Simpkins comes into the game to replace him. Panui in there also. Panui back in there with his 2-yard touchdown in the first half. So a nice little altered look here for Western Oregon, kind of a power look. But again, don't be surprised if Bergman might keep the ball himself or look to go down the field out of this formation. Simpkins will get the ball, and he's met immediately and torn down by the Simon Fraser offense. But that was probably more of a product of Western Oregon just needing to get a little rest.
Yeah, absolutely. It looked like he may have ran into his own offensive player there. Not quite, but almost looked like the butt fumble.
I knew you were going to say it. I was like, we're getting close to like the 1-year anniversary. So I think I can't remember. I want to say it was like on a Halloween night. I mean, you could not even design it any better than that. But thank goodness Simpkins holds on to the ball. Bergman now 10 of 22 in the game, 176 yards. Fumbles the ball. He falls on it. There'll be a scrum down at the bottom, but I'm pretty sure that Ryan Bergman on that sloppy play was able to avoid the turnover, but it'll bring up 3rd and long for Western Oregon, a place they've been in many different times today.
Yeah, good thing falling on the ball, but you never like to see your quarterback at the bottom of those piles. Bergman looks to be okay.
He's already taken 1 or 2 big hits today. We've already seen one play for Trey Shima-Bakuro, but right now he stays on the sideline as it looks like Bergman will shake it off, but it'll be 3rd down and 16 on the 36-yard line. Going to have to get this ball to almost the 20-yard line to pick up the first down. Little screen play for Tyrell Williams. Williams gets back to the original line of scrimmage with a penalty flag on the play.
Yeah, and it's going to be holding against Western. My guess is Simon Fraser will probably decline this penalty, and it'll bring up 4th down here. 22 seconds to go in the 4th, and we'll get the call.
Holding on the offense, number 60. That penalty is declined. 4th down.
4th down for Western Oregon. It will be an opportunity to punt the ball away, as it will be Correa coming out. Correa already with a few punts in this game. Actually just the one for 35 yards. This will be his 2nd punt of the day. Nobody back deep for Simon Fraser, and they must think something's up.
Oh, they're going for a field goal here.
Take it all back. Now, if I have that ball placed on the 31, this is a 48-yarder. Already hit a 46-yarder earlier today. High snap. Ball is up. I think there might be just enough leg. And the signal goes up, and a new 48-yard field goal. That's a 46 and a 48-yard field goal. Western Oregon now in front, 27-3 over Simon Fraser on KWVT, Channel 17.
Field goal is good. That's the end of the third quarter.
And we're back at MacArthur Field. Western's going to kick after a great field goal by Korea, 48 yards. And it's number 16, again, Corrado with the return, and that's where Simon Fraser will take over on the offensive side of the ball. It looks like right about the 30-yard line. So we start the fourth quarter, and Simon Fraser needs to get something going quick. Down here, 24 points, and their last drive had something going. A great drive down the field, chewed up a lot of clock. Unfortunately for them, being down big, but had that interception, turned over the ball, and so they will take over ball on the 30-yard line.
Zach, kind of looking up a statistic here about Korea, trying to find out if that's his long kick of the year. He's got a 46 and a 48-yard field goal as Stanford will go back into the shotgun, and he's flushed out of the pocket. Not much room to run, and he kind of gets himself out of bounds before Moa was going to go ahead and tackle Stanford, but we'll keep looking that up as we go along.
Yeah, we know it's got to be close. I believe it's definitely the longest he's kicked thus far this season.
By 1 yard. Actually had a 47-yarder last week down at Dixie State. So we know at least for the season, it's his long kick of the season for Korea. 27-3 Western Oregon over Simon Fraser. Stanford keeps his feet, has a man open, and a nice leaping catch will come from Kawamoto. I'm not sure, but it is Kawamoto with the reception. He's had 19 receptions for 239 yards and 1 touchdown on the season. Definitely the second receiver behind Popshill, but now it's 14 minutes and 20 seconds remaining here in the fourth quarter. Western Oregon in firm control of this game at 27-3. Simon Fraser driving now, ball on Western Oregon's 35-yard line.
29-yard reception there for Kawamoto.
Pressure coming from Kanangata'a. Kinsey was going to come up and make the play. Penalty flag on the play, but Akins will come in for a half tackle on the play.
Yeah, and it's going to be a hold there. Nice job by the defense getting some pressure there, and unfortunately for Simon Fraser, yet another penalty.
John Weekly also in on the play with Akins there.
Holding on the offense, number 55, 10-yard penalty, first down.
Brad Erdos. Offensive lineman will pick up the penalty for Simon Fraser. And again, no, Zach, you've been harping on it, but it probably needs to get a lot of attention. Simon Fraser, unfortunately, once they take one step forward, will take 2 steps back, inevitably, either with turnovers or penalties today, and they've put themselves in a position now trailing by 24 points, that they can ill afford any penalties or turnovers if they want to get back into this football game. Stanford now going to hand the ball off, gives the ball to Tolbert. Tolbert leaps over his own offensive lineman and gets some positive yards on the play.
Yeah, 7 penalties for 71 yards thus far for Simon Fraser. Also 3 turnovers. We talked about it early in the game. And it does look like a Western player's down, shaken up a bit. He's able to stand up on his own power, and it's
Craig Akins. Akins has kind of grabbed both arms today, and I think in a game where you're leading 27-3, and there's so much to look forward to, Craig Akins probably will not see the green grass the rest of this day, and probably well-deserved as he comes up with a great interception on the previous set of downs when Simon Fraser had the ball. Helped off the field right now. Everybody concerned about their big playmaker and linebacker number 8, Craig Akins, as he's holding his left arm. Stanford now again in the shotgun with Tolbert. It'll be a pass play, and going down the middle, ball gets to Ket, and Ket gets a big reception. He'll get first down yardage.
Yeah, Ket, a big receiver out there, 6'5", 213-pound tight end. And he is just a sophomore, so a lot to look forward to from Ket for Simon Fraser. And got them all the way down to the 20-yard line here, so it's going to be 1st down and 10. Clock continues to move. 2 minutes, 54 seconds to go here in the 4th quarter.
Little fade pattern out into the end zone, and a great leaping catch from Kawamoto, and that'll be a touchdown for Simon Fraser. Their first points since the 1st quarter. The signal goes up, and it'll be an opportunity for Simon Fraser and the Clan to make it a 17-point game with the extra point coming up next. But a great read and recognition coming from Stanford to Kawamoto with a single coverage.
Yeah, Kawamoto looks a bit shaken up, but he came down straight on his back there, so probably just knocked the wind out of him. Dominic Aquina on the coverage there did a nice job, was stuck with Kawamoto the whole time, but Kawamoto just doing a better job of getting his hands on that football.
Kawamoto, his 2nd touchdown on the season. The kick is no good, and your score is 27-9. Western Oregon over Simon Fraser on Northwest Television Sports on KWVT Channel 17. Live at MacArthur Field, Matt Palumbo alongside Zach Louis tagged for great Northwest Athletic Conference action. And we might see an onside kick here, I'm not quite sure, but there it is. And coming up, nice play made on the short hop. Who is that? Really well designed. I can't even see him, he's so small.
Looks like maybe
A.J. Hull, number 9, A.J. Hull.
Yeah, Hull doing a nice job of covering it up there. Didn't even look like they were really set up for the onside kick.
44 was doing the kicking, was Antoine Milinovich. Leader actually did the onside kick for Simon Fraser, trailing by 18, and now 12:47 on the clock. Is going to give Western Oregon and their offense a short field to operate. They'll be on the 45-yard line, and it'll be an opportunity for Ryan Bergman to work on some of his stats. Still under 50%, 11 and 20 of 23 for 181 yards, yet to throw a touchdown. He threw 4 big touchdowns a week ago. 2 running backs in the backfield with him right now. Hurd now going out on a little bit of a wheel route. He's open, and he leaps up, almost coming up with the catch, and there's the late hit, and I have to kind of agree with it. It was a defenseless position for Hurd to be in, and coming over the top was Travis Hayes, who laid the hit on Hurd, and he's going to be called for the penalty.
Yeah, nice job of Hurd still going up for that ball. He had to have known he was going to get blasted there. And unfortunately for Simon Fraser, yet another penalty coming here. And you're right, Matt, that I have to agree. Almost out of bounds when that hit occurred. Definitely a defenseless player. And we wait to get the call here.
Interestingly enough, they're not moving yet.
No foul on the play. The action was legal.
Wow.
Well, viewers and anybody else on the internet, or when you do see this on television, maybe not having the luxury of replay will be good today, because just to let you know from this person's humble opinion, that was pretty much a play that you don't want to see happen when a player goes up like that. We're happy to see Hurd is just fine on the play. Flag is picked up. It'll be 2nd down and 10 with Devontae Hoffman now in the backfield. Antoine Wafer, bottom of your screen. Bergman now kind of holding the ball loosely, has nowhere to go, getting some blocking. He's going to get rid of the football, and actually a great play from Wafer. Give him credit for staying with that play and coming back 13 yards. Oops, excuse me.
No, actually, I believe it was Hoffman on the catch.
You're right. They're focusing on the player there. Thank you for the call there. Couldn't quite tell, but Devontae Hoffman getting the 1st down yardage as he had actually come out of the backfield. It may have actually been a designed screenplay, but again, Western Oregon staying disciplined. Panui and Kanengata are now in there on a 3rd down and 1 from the 36-yard line. They'll give the ball off to Panui. They've already run this formation 2 or 3 times today, and it might be just enough for a 1st down.
And we still wait to get the call here.
Timothy Simpkins, running back for Western Oregon, giving the signal of yes, it is, but the 4th down comes up, and you're going to keep the same personnel on the field. Bergman might go underneath center here for the first time, and we might just see a quarterback sneak.
Yeah, they have it as a 4th and 1, but it's a little bit shorter than that.
Bunch formation, 3 players in the backfield. It goes off to Panui, and I don't think they're going to get this.
Yeah, it's going to be close.
Everybody on Simon Fraser running away like they've had a big hold.
Still no signal on the field.
It's going to be dependent upon where this ball is marked, whether Western Oregon will get the first down or Simon Fraser will have a nice hold.
You get to see the Western Oregon players saying it's first, the Simon Fraser saying it's...
They're bringing out the chains. It's our first chance to get an actual read on it. It could be by the nose of a football. It could be by the lace. We're not quite sure, but we're getting ready to bring in the chain gang to see if Western Oregon picks up the first down. 11:07 on the clock. It was 4th and 1 on that play. Western Oregon leading 27-9.
Either way, nice job by Simon Fraser's defense. 2 straight plays, not giving up a yard.
And everybody running off the field for Simon Fraser. It'll be Western Oregon after getting great field position, not able to capitalize, and they miss it by about 6 to 8 inches. It'll be Simon Fraser and the Clan with an opportunity once again with a score to get that game within 2 scores, and even brings more into play, you know, the opportunity to cut it to 11 or to 10, depending upon what they do. It'll be Ryan Stanford coming out, having a better second half now, 15 of 29. He's had 2 costly interceptions in this game, 177 yards. But now Simon Fraser with an opportunity to capitalize on a great defensive stand from their front line, and it's going to be Papasho with a halfback option pass throwing into double coverage, and it is intercepted by Western Oregon. Patrick Tapia, no problem whatsoever. I've watched a lot of sports at all levels, and I've never seen a team in Simon Fraser today that anything that they got going in the direction that they needed to get going, they would break away from it and actually almost get greedy about it, and they wouldn't just stay the course. One of the things I've enjoyed about Western Oregon's play calling today is that it's been committed to a couple things. We're going to run the ball, we're going to keep you honest, oh, and by the way, we know that our players on the outside are probably better than your players, and they've kind of stuck to their guns. Simon Fraser, you said they needed to play perfect, Zach. They've gone for the home run multiple times today, and it hasn't worked at all.
No, nice job by Western's defense not being fooled at all on that trick play.
Devontae Hoffman now shucks and jives, lowers his shoulders and picks up 6 more yards. He puts down the heavy hit on Derek Jones, and it's a big first down for Devontae Hoffman. Hoffman now will be approaching 100 yards himself. What a story brewing here for Western Oregon, and their offense can have an opportunity to have 2 100-yard rushers today. Hoffman with first down yardage, ball on the 16-yard line. Western Oregon in the red zone again.
As we say, laying down the boom was Hoffman.
Hoffman gassed, can't get much on that play. It'll be second down and long for Western Oregon.
Yeah, do you blame him? A great run on the previous play. Just kept those feet moving, and Hoffman, like you said, approaching that 100-yard mark.
Both Hoffman and Harris averaging 6 yards plus a carry. It's got to be a nice safety valve to have in your offense when you're getting that kind of productivity out of your backs. Trips wide receivers out to the left. It's Wafer far left. Haven't called his name yet. Big play receiver. They're going that way, and a miscommunication as Gonsalves was the only player in any way, shape, or form that could have caught that ball. But Hoffman, like we said, 13 carries here for 97 yards, just 3 yards short of the century mark. His counterpart, Joe Harris, already there.
Mitchell Barnett, number 35 on the defense, putting the pressure on Ryan Bergman. Bergman just had to get rid of the football, and it'll bring up 3rd down and 9 now. Clock stopped at 9 minutes, 50 seconds to go here in the 4th.
Jones now draws the coverage of Tyrell Williams. Could look for a fade pattern down to the end zone. Looking left, now coming back underneath the middle. Pass behind him. It was intended for Antoine Wafer, but the pass wasn't quite there. It'll bring out Jose Correa with another opportunity. Already a 46 and a 48-yard field goal to his credit. This will be a relative chip shot from the 15-yard line. It'll be a 32-yarder for Correa.
Yeah, dangerous pass there by Bergman in the end zone. 2 defenders on his receiver, and unfortunately just couldn't get him the ball. So Korea lines up to match the score of the last matchup of the teams here.
Stole my thunder, Zach. I was thinking about it. Well, if he makes this field goal, it'll be 30-9, and that'll be kind of, the same score as it was about a month and a half ago. And the score now 30-9 on the third field goal from Jose Correa. We'll be back for more action here on Northwest Television Sports and KWVT, Channel 17. Welcome back to MacArthur Field. Zach Louis-Tang and Matt Palumbo doing the calling of today's football game between Western Oregon and Simon Fraser. Score 30-9, Wolves on top of the Clan. Anderson with the kickoff return will take the ball out past the 35-yard line. And this score 30-9, it's not eerily similar. It's the exact same score when they played up in Burnaby in September. It was Western Oregon out to a 9-3 lead in the first half of that game. They go on to score 21-6 in the second half, and they win that game 30-9. Our score right now, 9:34 on the clock, and really, Simon Fraser has been playing catch-up from the beginning with that pick six from Dominic Aquina. They have not been able to get much going, only 6 points since the first quarter. Stanford now going out in a pass play, and Dominic Aquina already has one interception, and then he lays a hit like a missile. It's an incomplete pass. And we've been talking about this, Zach. Western Oregon's played with a certain attitude and swagger today, and Simon Fraser has been none too appreciative of it.
Yeah, it looked like a Mack truck running over the receiver there. Number 6, Papashila.
Was it Papashil was the intended receiver?
Yeah, and he just got ran over there.
Stanford on second down and 10 finds a man over the middle. Nice catch coming from number 86 on the play. Is that who it was, Zach?
No, I believe actually.
It was Corrado?
Yeah, it's Corrado. Hard to see some of those numbers there on the far side of the field.
Corrado's been shaken up a couple of times, but he's able to kind of contort his body and make a nice reception. It'll bring up third down and short for Simon Fraser. Clock running and trailing by 3 touchdowns at 30-9.
And so a big third down. Simon Fraser, it's late in the fourth quarter. If they want to have any chance at this football game.
Nice little underneath play designed for the tight end on the play. Jamal Kett with another reception. He'll get first down yardage. But the clock now becoming an ally of Western Oregon.
And number 8, Aquina, just came back into the football game. So we had mentioned shaken up earlier, didn't think he would see any more playing time, but he is back.
Craig Aikens coming back in on the defensive line. He wants to take a chance at Stanford, but he's picked up on that block. But a nice reception coming for Simon Fraser as they'll pick up 7 yards on first down.
I've done it to him twice. Craig Aikens. I've called him Aquina. We've been calling Aquina's name so much.
It happens.
Giving him a bit too much credit there.
Very complete football coming from Western Oregon today. Just around their season marks for total yardage in the game. 204 yards coming on the ground, 190 coming passing, 394 total yards for Western Oregon. 266 for Simon Fraser, only able to put 9 points on the board, and they're trailing right now at 30-9. And Stanford is going to be in the shotgun. 19 of 33 for 205 yards. Now looking down over the middle and has a man wide open on the play, and it goes right back to Kett for a second straight reception and a first down.
Yeah, Kett, a big tight end, a big target there for the quarterback Stanford at 6'5". And like we mentioned, only a sophomore, as we see Simon Fraser running the hurry-up offense.
Stanford going to go right back to the air, and the pass tipped again. And the ball hit the ground. Corrado was going to be maybe in the right place at the right time. Second down and 10. 7:10 remaining in the fourth quarter. Western Oregon University here live at Monmouth, Oregon for Great Northwest Athletic Conference action on Northwest Television Sports and KWVT Channel 17. It's been a great day for Monmouth, Oregon and all of its fans of Western Oregon as they're leading 30-9. It'll be Ryan Stanford. 2 wide receivers out to his right in this formation for Simon Fraser and their offense. Passes underneath the Kett again, And that's 3 times in a row they've gone to their big tight end. It'll bring up 3rd and short for the Clan, and their offense is now they're inside the red zone and threatening to score.
As we see them continue to run the hurry-up offense, 3rd down and 1 here, ball on the 11-yard line.
Ball goes to, not to Anderson, but to Spagnuolo. Spagnuolo almost gets to the end zone, but he's tripped up around the 2-yard line. And once again, Simon Fraser will end up inside the 10. Player is down and does not look good here for Simon Fraser. It looks like a lineman can't see anything quite yet.
Yeah, it doesn't look like he's getting up on his own here. Looks like it may be a leg injury here, so we will be right back here on KWVT Channel 17.
And back to live action at MacArthur Field. I'm Matt Palomo. Zach Louis-Tag calling a quick break. We missed the first down play there, but it'll be 2nd down and goal to goal for Simon Fraser. Spagnuolo will get the ball again, and the signals will go up. And from the far side of the field, the line judge calls touchdown for Simon Fraser. Now drawing in within 15 at 13-15, awaiting the extra point. 6:13 on the clock. And Simon Fraser just quite doesn't want to go away yet.
Yeah, something I find interesting, it seems like, just like you mentioned earlier, every time a defense goes into the prevent, all it does is prevent them from stopping the offense. Well, in the same, as soon as an offense seems to go to the hurry-up offense, it almost always seems like they're able to generate that offense quicker and more effectively, and that's exactly what happened for Simon Fraser. They switched that hurry-up, and it led to a score. It makes you wonder if they had started that a little bit earlier, if maybe this game might be a little bit closer here. But as it is, 30-15 as we see the extra point, and it
barely
is good.
Getting over the crossbars. The kick is good. It's a 2-touchdown game. Western Oregon 30-16 on KWVT Channel 17. Back just in time for what I expect to be another onside attempt, but actually they'll kick it away, do they? Devontae Hoffman back deep, and they really don't do themselves any favors as kick will go out of bounds. Hairspank will be called for the penalty. It'll give Western Oregon the ball at the 35-yard line and a chance to operate here in the fourth quarter.
Kick out of bounds on the kicking team. Ball will be placed at the 35-yard line. 1st down.
Western Oregon now trailing, or not, excuse me, not trailing, up 30-16, 6:13 on the clock. Interestingly enough, Simon Fraser with all 3 of their timeouts. Expect them to play a little bit more aggressively on the defensive side of the ball, and I don't think it's an opportunity right now that Arn Ferguson takes lightly. I don't expect them to just run the ball and see if they can get away with winning this game. I think they need another score to win this game. Ryan Bergman giving the ball off to Joe Harris. Our first chance to see him maybe here get some extended minutes here in the fourth quarter, as he already has over 100 yards in the game, picking up 2 on the play. Now 16
timeout.
Carries.
Simon Fraser, their 2nd charge timeout of the half.
Simon Fraser actually has their 2nd charge timeout. We'll keep it here. Interestingly enough, I don't know
Correction, their 1st charge timeout of the half.
Well, the referee doesn't know what I know, so I just read the scoreboard. So there's actually 2 timeouts left. What Simon Fraser's trying to do, I don't know if I agree. Dave Johnson, coach, has to make a call at some point. When do you use those timeouts? I think you had to assume Western Oregon probably wants to run the ball a couple of times, see if they can soften up Simon Fraser's defense and take some time off the clock. And if you get a quick 3 and out and you're able to score, and then the onside kick, and you have your timeouts, maybe that's a better play than what we're seeing right now, is it looks like he's going to use them all right now.
Absolutely. Down 2 scores so far. Need to get that ball back, and you're right. An interesting call so far. Let's see if it plays out. They definitely need to get a stop here. A 3 and out does Simon Fraser. So it's going to be 2nd down and 8, 6 minutes, 9 seconds to go here in the fourth quarter.
Western Oregon having to operate with very little pressure all day. If they don't pick up some good yards here, it'll bring up a third down scenario. Devontae Hoffman gets the edge, and he's got running room and greener pastures to run to, and the first down is what he receives for the extra effort there, and a great play call coming from the sideline there during the timeout is now Devontae Hoffman clearly over 100 yards in the game, and now 2 running backs for Western Oregon, 100 yards on the day, averaging nearly 7 yards a carry are Hoffman and Harris. 5:51 and the clock now moving as the chains move. Bergman goes back to work with Panui in the backfield, blocking for Devontae Hoffman, who will run off the right side.
And how do you stop the strategy of a opposing coach? You get a first down like that, and
Quinn Horton with the tackle from his defensive line position. Hoffman coming off the field. Timothy Simpkins back in at tailback where he has limited duties for Arn Ferguson in this Western Oregon offense. Antoine Wafer now will go to the far side of the formation. Top of your television screens. Robert Savoy in as well. Bergman now going to call out the play and content now as the play clock will get down to 10. He'll let it even slip further down, maybe closer to 5. Here we are, letting it go all the way down and managing the game well is Bergman. Here comes a blitz, and Simpkins runs off the right side and picks up yards.
Looked like 99 with the tackle there. Quinn
Timeout.
Horton.
Simon Fraser, their second team charge timeout of the half.
Simon Fraser calls a timeout. We'll step away real quickly. KWVT, Channel 17. Third and 6 for the Wolves, operating from midfield. Bergman going deep. Penalty flag on the play as the pass was going to go to Wafer, but just outside his outstretched arms. But a piece of yellow flag on the field. We'll have to wait and see what the call is. 4:42 remaining in the fourth quarter with Western Oregon on top, 30-16 over Simon Fraser.
Holding on the offense, number 56. That penalty is declined. Fourth down.
So it's going to be 4th down and 6 now for Western Oregon. If they decide to punt the ball, Simon Fraser's going to get it back. Over 4 minutes to go, only down 2 scores.
And a timeout also remaining, so that will be to their advantage as well. Van Brunt to go back and kick. Back deep is Anderson for Simon Fraser. Highly effective off their kickoffs today. We'll see if they can get some good field position on the punt return. Low over end kick. Anderson fields it, gets a little bit of blocking. Hull misses the tackle, but Kinsey comes up to finish the work as Hull stays with it. The ball will be inside the 15-yard line, and it'll be a long field for Simon Fraser, trailing by 14. 4:32 remaining. And right now, it's an interesting game. I really feel all day Western Oregon had the opportunity to probably put this game well out of anybody's conceivable range of it even being a close game. And right now, they're only one maybe busted play away on defense away from having to really think about how are we going to hold on, on this game right now. I mean, people don't say that, but that's how football and sports happen. Momentum happens. Stanford now goes to work from the shotgun, and he's looking for a big play right off the bat. Gets it to Kawamoto. Kawamoto is tackled by Chappell. Chappell more interested in maybe trying to rip the ball away, but first down yardage picked up by the receiver, Simon Fraser, and the ball will be on the move for the Clan as they are still trailing by 14. Nice play there from Stanford on first down.
Yeah, and again, going with that hurry-up offense, which is not a surprise. But a nice pickup on that first down reception.
Only 4 down linemen for Western Oregon, 7 defensive backs. And underneath, a nice little play there from Kett. And Kett stands his ground. And I'll tell you, there's a little bit of moxie, in my opinion, coming from that sideline from Simon Fraser. And that is to say, we probably took the best you had to give us today, and we're right here. And if we can get something here in the next minute and a half, we're going to make you sweat to win this thing.
Absolutely. Nice job. Like you said, started the drive within their own 15-yard line, already out to the 40.
Nice play right there from Stanford as he shifts his plane of field, and he gets another reception. It's out to Bikake Upal.
That's 3 plays and 3 first down receptions so for Simon Fraser on this drive.
There it is. Getting back to the line of scrimmage. Nice little flip pass comes over to Tolbert, and Tolbert will run down, and the ball is out. And the signal right now that the ball wasn't down, and everybody from Western Oregon is indicating that they will have recovered this ball. They're not saying that the ground forced the fumble.
Let's get the call here.
Tolbert was going to get first down yardage, but the ball right now stays with Simon Fraser. Clock continues to roll now under 3:30.
It was Kinsey who came up with the football, but they are saying it's Simon Fraser.
Quick snap again coming underneath. And a nice hit coming up from number 34. Caleb Nelson from his linebacker position. Clock now just about the 3-minute mark, 3:05 remaining. And Simon Fraser now putting the pressure on Western Oregon's defense. Penalty flag comes down. I don't know if it's going to be a false start or an offsides penalty here.
Yeah.
False start on the offense, number 55, 5-yard penalty, first down.
Nice hit by Nelson on that last play, but if I was the coach, I would be telling him this late in the game with this, a close score, Simon Fraser driving, wrap up. The big hit is always good, but you do not want that the offensive player to bounce off that hit and get more yards.
Simon Fraser going to need to start thinking about taking the ball to the sidelines as there's nothing going on there, and that will take more time off of the clock. Those first 3 first downs were okay, but now everything that they can do to conserve time is going to be important. Conan Gataha comes off the field. A.J. Hull back in as an extra defensive back. Moa in as another linebacker. It'll be Stanford from the shotgun. Everybody kind of standing up. Pressure coming from the defensive line of Western Oregon. Pass goes back into the middle, and Kett almost gets the tip pass. Shaken up on the play, but he'll get back up, and it'll bring up 3rd down and 15 on the 33-yard line.
Kett almost got back up and then kind of went back down, so a little bit shaken up on the play there.
Kett a little bit gimpy, limping off the field.
So it's going to bring up a 3rd down and 15, ball on the 33-yard line, 2 minutes, 23 seconds to go here in the 4th.
3 deep defensive backs for Western Oregon as the middle of the field will be open and available for Simon Fraser. Everybody dropping in, only 5 rushing, 6 back. Ball thrown underneath and incomplete. Stanford struggling now again, 26 of 44. He does have nearly 300 yards. But that's a play, again, I'm not quite sure what they intend to do with only 1 timeout left. They have to get the ball to the sidelines to conserve the time. It'll be 4th down and 15, and for all intents and purposes, this will be the football game for Simon Fraser.
Absolutely. So it'll be interesting to see their big tight end, the guy they've gone to, Kett, all game for the big play, is not in the game.
And Moa's going to come up with the defensive pressure. There was nothing they could do about it. Glenn Moa, defensive back, 5'10", 205-pound senior from Oakland, California, comes up with the defensive stop. It'll be a turnover on downs, and with only 1 timeout remaining, Western Oregon needs to just hold on to this football and get 1 first down, and they'll get themselves a 3rd consecutive win. And unfortunately for Simon Fraser, it'll be 9 losses consecutively in this series and 5 overall this season.
A 16-yard loss on the sack there. Stanford didn't see it coming at all. Rolled out of the pocket and rolled right into the defensive player.
Western Oregon taking advantage of most of their opponents all season long in tackle for losses. Several plays today as Timothy Simpkins and Bergman do not communicate well on the handoff, but Simpkins lucky enough to fall on the ball. And Western Oregon retains possession. Just as I say, all you have to do is hold on to it. They almost give it right back.
But they still do retain possession. 2nd down and 12 now. That clock continues to move.
Stingy defense from Western Oregon all day, as it wasn't until in the 4th quarter that they gave up their first touchdown of the game. And right now, I got to think that Arn Ferguson, from a discipline standpoint, probably not happy of how they played this second half. But right now, Bergman will be in the backfield. Tyrell Williams, bottom of your screen. Ball will go to Hoffman off the left side, following his blockers and keeping the ball in the middle of the field smartly. Dustin Hurd gets into a little extracurricular activities with one of the Simon Fraser players. Looks like Joshua Jakai, linebacker from Haywood, California. And Dustin Hurd had a few kind words and a little bit of a scuffle in the middle of the field.
So we'll wait to get the call here. I believe it will be on Hurd.
After the play, on sportsmanlike conduct on the offense, number 19, 15-yard penalty, the down counts, third down.
It'll bring up third and obnoxiously long for Western Oregon as Dustin Hurd has assessed a penalty for unsportsmanlike conduct on the play. In a situation like this, Zach, really all you hope to do is get out with the victory and that nobody gets hurt on any sort of foolish play. And right now, I won't be at all surprised if we see Ryan Bergman just hand the ball off and be content to get his offensive team off of the field and just get the victory. And there goes the ball off to Hoffman. Hoffman looking for some running room if he can keep his feet in bounds, and he was trying to, but he runs the ball out of bounds. Again, a mental error that you're not supposed to make. It stops the clock with 1:05. It'll bring out 4th and 12. Western Oregon will have to punt the ball away. And I got to say, I mean, stranger things have happened, but I mean, you've got to make sure that you cover up well here, because if you get a breakdown in special teams, again, you're down to a one-score game. Anderson will go back deep for Van Brunt's punt.
Yeah, you're completely right, Matt. Unfortunately, time not on Simon Fraser's side here. Just over a minute to go here.
Earl Anderson now looking at the 10-yard line. Pressure was coming. Big kick coming from Van Brunt, but it goes right to Anderson. And Anderson now trying to find some running room, keeps his feet. But A.J. Hull, the freshman, a special teams maestro, stands his ground and takes down the much bigger player. 50 seconds remaining on the clock, and Simon Fraser will have a long field to operate, trailing by 2 touchdowns at 30-16. Western Oregon, if you have to look forward to next week, it'll be a monstrous game in California at Azusa Pacific. 2 weeks later here, November 9th, don't forget to tune in on KWVT and Northwest Television Sports, as it will be Central Washington, and Western Oregon will round out their season on the 16th down in California at Humboldt State. But business still not finished here with 50 seconds. Zach, what do you think Simon Fraser is going to look to do here to try to score?
Yeah, I'd expect them to air out the football. Unfortunately, they haven't shown that they have the big play in their offense. And
Akins ends up knocking the pass down. It goes right back to Stanford, who is able then to pass the ball out to Corrado, but a penalty flag on the play. 40 seconds remaining here in the fourth quarter.
The one reception early in the first half, the one-handed grab by Kett, was the largest pass play, and I believe that was just under 30 yards. So Simon Fraser really hasn't been able to prove that they have, that big play pass so far in the game tonight. And so unfortunately for them, with just 40 seconds to go,
legal forward pass, second forward pass during the down on the offense, number 12. 5-yard penalty from the spot of the foul, loss of down. It'll be second down.
Not a common penalty you see there.
It's not a common penalty, and it almost kind of is pouring salt on a wound. Unfortunately, penalties, turnovers, and I think maybe a lack of depth from Simon Fraser today, ultimately their undoing, as Western Oregon looks now in the next 40 seconds to secure its third straight victory and to move to 5-3 on the season, and nicely now only positioned with one loss in conference play, and that is to Azusa Pacific, where they will travel next week for a 6:30 kickoff. Handoff from Simon Fraser to its running back will get the ball nearly to the line of scrimmage. The play clock will continue to roll, and the next play, most likely the last play of this game today. On the defensive side of the ball, the second half, we saw Craig Akins really kind of exert an influence on the game. And if you're Arn Ferguson, and actually as a team, what had to be probably most promising about moving forward was seeing Devontae Hoffman and Joe Harris run the ball so effectively for this offense that Ryan Bergman's stats, although very good, weren't the reason that they had to win or lose the game was on his arm. They were given the opportunities to do everything, and all its 0-0s on the clock, and Western Oregon comes out with a Great Northwest Athletic Conference victory over Simon Fraser, our friends from the north in Burnaby, BC. Western Oregon 30-16 over Simon Fraser. Zach, as we look at the two teams out there, it was really kind of a chippy game. It seems that the sportsmanlike part of it now is one of my favorite things, the handshake at the end of the game. But if I'm Simon Fraser, I'm very proud of staying in that game as long as they did. They played all 60 minutes. Western Oregon, like I said, has a lot to look forward to after the performance from their running backs and a lot coming from their defense today.
You're absolutely right. A great job by the Western Oregon Wolves of, even though it was close and tight here in the fourth quarter, keeping the momentum going and coming away with the victory. So we will be right back for a post-game wrap-up here on KWVT Channel 17.
Welcome back to Northwest Television Sports and KWVT Channel 17. Wrapping up today's game against Simon Fraser and Western Oregon. October the 26th, 2013, a great day for Monmouth and Western Oregon fans as they win 30-16. Zach, taking a look at the statistics early on, the most glaring thing that pops off the page for me as we get through the game today was Simon Fraser, 10 penalties for 99 yards, a couple of turnovers, never allowed themselves to really get into the football game to where they could exert any sort of rhythm or tempo in the game. Western Oregon clearly able to do that all afternoon behind Devontae Hoffman and Joe Harris.
Yeah, you're completely right. Both backs going over 100 yards, both with a rushing touchdown. And like you had said, huge averages, both averaging close to 7 yards per carry. So that's been a struggle all year for Western Oregon, getting that ground game going. And tonight, not a problem at all. So let's hope that they can keep this momentum going next week into a great GNAC matchup. And tough for Simon Fraser, like we said, coming in on a 4-game slide and the last 3 weeks facing the top 3 teams in the GNAC conference.
It's exactly where you want to be if you're Aaron Ferguson in Western Oregon. I think even maybe more telling about Western Oregon might be on the defensive side of the ball. I know Simon Fraser's not vaunted when it comes to that offensive side of the ball, but 31 carries for 93 yards, they stick up quite well. And especially Craig Aikens coming up with an interception, and everything kind of keyed off of Dominic Aquina's early touchdown for the pick 6. And it wasn't obviously until late into the fourth quarter Simon Fraser even scoring its first touchdown of the game. And then again, jumping off the page to me is that they're able to hold the ball nearly half of the game. It's usually been the opposite side of that, where they're not controlling the pace of play. Western Oregon doing that quite well and has a marquee matchup now next week, 6:30 p.m. down at Azusa Pacific in Southern California. Obviously, we're going to be back here in 2 weeks, but what are your final thoughts leaving today, Zach?
Yeah, just a great matchup tonight at MacArthur Field. Finally, Western Oregon able to put the game away. Looked like it was going to be a blowout at some points. Then it looked like it was going to be a competitive matchup. But got to come away from this game with a positive taste in their mouth, going down to Azusa Pacific next week, trying to avenge that loss, like you said. So a great matchup this evening, and we look forward to some more great football from Western Oregon, see if they can get back in that conference hunt for the lead.
In our 28th all-time matchup between Simon Fraser and Western Oregon, it's now an all-time series lead for Western Oregon at 18-10. They come away with a 30-16 victory after winning 30-9 in September. That's 2-0 on the season in conference play against the Clan and our friends from Vancouver, BC. For Zach Louis-Tag, I'm Matt Palumbo, alongside executive producer Ken Louis-Tag and everybody at KWVT. We thank you for joining us today. Wherever you are, football fans, be well. We'll see you November 9th at 1 p.m. here on KWVT, Channel 17.
Searching the Northwest to bring you the biggest variety in sports. Northwest Television Sports brings you the rejoicing of victory, the frustration of defeat, the drama of competition. This is Northwest Sports.